going on, everybody? It's your boy Adam. It's another day, another way. Chaos to come back. Just nothing too bad going on. The problems that I have at this new place. There's no place that you're gonna move into. You could buy a mansion in the Woodlands and move into it and discover that you got a whole bunch of problems. So, you could move into a luxury apartment and discover, oh crap, you've got problems. I think the problems here are pretty minor. I sprayed for bugs, whatever day it was this week. I got a couple of insights on that. Sprayed for bugs everywhere pretty thoroughly. A gallon of this stuff goes, once you mix it up into a gallon sprayer, it took me a long time. I ran out of places to spray. I'm like, what do I do? I've still got this much in the sprayer, and I've sprayed everything. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll spray some shit again. I haven't seen a single living creature of the spindly-legged variety, except for one tiny little spider in my sink for days. So round one was successful. I haven't seen nothing. I haven't seen anything. I saw some dead bodies the day after I sprayed, and I haven't seen a single thing since, not one thing since. So round two is going to be, you get these syringes, and there's 3 or 4 different kinds, but it's a gel bait that you can put in places. Put these tiny little dots of gel bait in strategic locations around the place. That's round two. And round two will also be sealing up places where they can get in. Something that somebody pointed out to me, because we were talking about the rain that we've been getting lately. And this one week, the rain, when on bicycle maintenance day, when you saw me working on the bicycles, you saw me outside cleaning up the bikes, and then all of a sudden the storm clouds started rolling in, and I had to get everything back in the house. And while I was working on the bikes, it was pouring outside. It was a torrential downpour. And this whole property turned into a lake. It turned into a lake. The whole place was underwater. About this much water in places. Like halfway up to my knees in spots. The whole driveway. Water came up. There's drainage ditches alongside the road, and they were full and overflowing. And the water almost got to the point where it was going to start covering the road itself. And that's pretty tall. So all the houses around here, everything was flooded. Now this property here is up on blocks, so it's up off the ground. There's a significant height that this property is above the ground. And Houston is flat, it's near the ocean, it's prone to flooding. So it's not, it's not, what's the word? It's not completely unexpected or out of the ordinary for something like that to happen. It might make sense for me to own a canoe at some point, because this place could flood as bad as New Orleans at some point. Like it could happen. So having a boat to get out of Dodge might be in my interest at some point in the future. But and that's something I could keep underneath the building here, upside down under the house. And if things get a little hairy and crazy, like the water starts coming up, I could pull the boat out, flip it up, tie it off on the front, tie it off by the front door or something, have it at the ready. But I got a lot of other things to worry about between now and then. But somebody was like, a lot of those bugs could have come into your house because they were looking for a place to get away from the lake. Once the whole property is underwater, all these bugs are like, oh shit, where am I gonna go? And they're just gonna scramble and find whatever they can find to climb up into. And so some of them, I did notice that all of this shit started in coinciding with I don't know if it's 100% true, but there was a connection there that when that happened, the bugs appeared. But I was seeing spiders and some other shit before, but it definitely was worse after that mega rainstorm that came through. It was noticeably worse. But now, round 1, I went through and sprayed all that stuff everywhere. I don't see shit. So that did round 1 was a knockout blow to the opponent. Way more than I didn't think it was going to work as good as it did. I mean, I'm surprised. I don't see nothing except for this one tiny little spider. Like, it's down to an acceptable level in one shot. So every few weeks, every 2 to 3 weeks, I'm just going to do something else. I've still got that stuff left. I've still got a double dose instead of a triple dose. So I could do that spray again. From what I've been told, that spray should hold me down for about 2 months before its effectiveness will wear out, and I should spray again. So my options would be get another pack of that stuff so that I can do another triple dose. I think, may as well go all in, but I don't have to do it. This isn't something I got to do all the time. The gel baits have a long life. You put them up, you put them in different places. You pretty much don't got to do it again for quite a while. And then there's other things that you can do that are permanent solutions. Things, dust and different, like citric acid dust and stuff like that you can put in different places. That's a forever. That will last forever. And there are different things you can do. Like, there's stuff I can mop the floors with that I can put in a spray bottle and just mop the floor. When I use the little mop that I use right now on the floor, I can just spray the floor with this stuff, mop it into the floor, and anything that walks across the floor, it's done. It's over. But it's non-toxic to people. So I'm just gonna, one thing at a time. I'm not gonna go crazy. I was about to go crazy, but then when I sprayed this stuff and I don't see nothing. I mean, sometimes I think I see something, and then I go up and I'm like, oh, it's just dust, or it's just a dust bunny or a lint or something like that. This floor, it's nice looking, but the color, it's Pergo. It's a Pergo, simulated wood floor. I like these floors because they're waterproof. If you spill a bunch of water out of the sink, or you spill something on the floor or whatever, you don't got to worry too much about it. They're pretty damn waterproof. I've had floors like this in other places I've lived. The drawback of the nice thing about a hardwood floor is they're easy to keep clean. The drawback of a hardwood floor is they pick up everything. They almost never look clean, so you got to pay attention to the color. I would say like a dark wood color is what you want to go for in most cases. I think the light colors make your place look more open and spacious and airy, but the color of this, it's like a bleach blonde wood grain color, and it shows everything. If you're shedding hair off of your arms and legs, you see it on the floor. Dust, dirt, everything. And then white powder, white dust, sugar, anything like that you spill on the floor, or any white sand or anything like that shows up on this floor. So you can go around with a vacuum cleaner, a broom, and a mop, and you can clean this floor completely, and 45 minutes later you look around and it looks like it needs to be swept again because, a piece of dust, lint, anything falls on this floor, it shows right up. It always looks dirty. I'm looking around now, I see 25 different pieces of dust or dirt or little piece of plastic or whatever on the floor, and that's like one of the reasons why carpets are a better option. Whenever you go to a hotel, if you notice, hotels always, even a nice hotel, they always have the ugly, it's like somebody went to the ugly carpet convention and said, what's the ugliest carpet that you have? Like the ugliest carpet we want 25,000 yards of that ugly ass carpet. What is the ugliest carpet we can find? And the reason why hotels, especially hotels, lay down the ugliest carpets you've ever seen in your life in the hallways and the common areas and the lobbies, etc., is because it hides dirt. When the carpet is so ugly and it has some ugly ass pattern going or zigzagging around and the most awful color schemes imaginable, then your mind is basically looking at, wow, look at that ugly fucking carpet. And instead of looking at all the dirt and grime and crud on the carpet. So that means that they can go 24 hours between vacuuming the carpet and all the accumulated dirt and the mud and the shit that comes off of people's shoes and things that, you know, if they had a nice carpet, the dirt would it would look dirty all the time. So they get these ugly carpets. Even if these carpets are so horrendously ugly, even if they get stained, it just looks like part of the design because the design's so fucking ugly. You don't even notice the stains. And so all of that's done strategically and on purpose. So if you want to, if you want your house to always look clean, just go, find the same store where the hotels buy their carpets and get one of those carpets. And then you're just going to have to put up with living in a house with the most ugly, hideous looking carpet you've ever seen, but you won't have to vacuum as much. Carpets in general will always look cleaner between vacuuming, but they accumulate a shitload of stuff. Like, whenever at my last place that the last good place I lived in Pennsylvania, the upstairs, it was all hardwood floor, all tile, and different types of flooring in different rooms, but it was all hardwood or tile, or hardwood or simulated pergo hardwood, tile, and some other thing in the mud room that was like a roll, it looked like, it was like this foam rubber that looked like marble, the print, the design of it. But it was a mud room. It was either, what do you want, a concrete floor or something a little bit nicer. And then in the basement, most of the basement was carpet. And so that was what I would notice. The carpeted floors you could clean, and yes, you would see the difference when you vacuum and steam clean the carpets. But the amount of shit that you would vacuum up and pick up with the steam cleaner was just outright, it was absolutely amazing. Like, you'd fill up the whole bucket, the whole Dyson vacuum cleaner bucket full of just, holy shit, that was all in my carpet. But you wouldn't notice it. You wouldn't really notice that the carpet's that dirty. There would just be like, I'd look around and I'd be like, yeah, you start to see, and you're like, if you're starting to see that your carpet needs vacuumed, that means your carpet needed vacuumed like a month ago. So, but on the hardwood floors upstairs, we had to vacuum that shit all the time. Like, no, you couldn't go a week. If you went a week without vacuuming up there, it was like, oh shit. I had to get a cordless vacuum. The Dyson is like $400 or $500. I got the $75 cordless vacuum, and I got like 3 batteries for it, so that there was always a charged battery for it at all times. So you could vacuum the entire upstairs with that little thing. And now I had a full-size Dyson vacuum with a cord, and if we really needed to go to town and do some deep cleaning, that's what was coming out. But for your like day-to-day stuff, the cordless was where it was at, because this cordless vac had some power, and it was $75 plus whatever the couple of extra batteries cost. And that was good because that was better than using a broom and a dustpan, because it actually gets the shit up, where sometimes the broom and a dustpan will do a good job. And we had we had a broom and a dustpan off in the corner. But the vacuum was where it was at, because a broom and a dustpan, you're not going to get everything no matter how hard you try, but the vacuum will get most of it. And but I'd fill like just a little bit of the canister doing the whole upstairs, going around with the cordless vac a couple times a week. But it always looked dirty within a day. And these are darker floors. The color was much darker, so the dirt and the stuff didn't show up as quick. But here, I feel like I want to get one of those cordless vacs for this place, because I feel like I've got to vacuum this place every single day. It shows every day if you don't. But just another thing down the list. That's pretty far down the list. I have a little vacuum cleaner. I'll make it work for now. It's basically a dust buster with a stick, a handle on it, so you can use it as a vacuum cleaner. Let's see. And another problem with this place, so you can see, the problems I have are pretty minor compared to where I was living before. But another problem is the shared mailbox. So there's a mailbox. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 5 people living on this property. And there's one mailbox for the property. And so when I moved in here, the landlord said, oh yeah, so-and-so gets the mail, and he just hands it out to everybody. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Well, now I got mail, and I don't know where the fuck to go get my mail. I signed up for the informed delivery from the post office, and yesterday I got a message saying that I had mail, a check. I got a paycheck in the mail yesterday from a client, along with another thing from the post office that's important that I have to go to the website and type in some code for to activate something to prove that I live here. Both of those came in the mail yesterday. I have no fucking idea where they are. I came home from my job, long bicycle ride yesterday. I feel pretty good today, to be honest, but yesterday I didn't. But I came home, I opened the mailbox thinking, well, maybe they leave the stuff in the mailbox, each tenant gets their own mail or whatever. Well, no. They don't have mailboxes on the individual houses here, which I think that's kind of dumb. Like, just put a mailbox. If this is how the mail works here, put a mailbox on everybody next to their front door so that somebody can put the mail in the house that it belongs to. So now I put a text out to the landlord last night. I'm like, who has the mail? Because I told him, I said, I got 2 things in the mail today. I already know I got them. I don't know who to go get them from. It's still early on Sunday. But I need to get that by the end of the day so that I can put that check in the bank tomorrow. And I know it's here. So that's the thing. I know it's here. Now, at the last place I lived, we had all these people sharing a property. Everybody had a little mailbox outside their door. If you saw the videos of me coming in and out of the tool shed, there was a little mailbox by the door. So anytime I had mail, someone would put it in there, or it would be in the main house on a table. So there were 2 places I could find it, but I never had the problem of not getting my mail on the day it came. So my mind is racing, of course. This may not be an issue. I'd say maybe by the end of the day, it's probably, if it's not in my hands when I go to bed tonight, I'm going to be pissed off, because I can get this check put in the bank tomorrow when I go to the bakery, and I don't have to make a special trip for it. But if I don't have that check in my hand today, then I'm going to have to make a special trip to deposit this, and it's going to take longer for that to clear my bank account. And I mean, if I have to call the landlord and say, hey, I'm not getting my mail, so I can't pay the rent, figure it out. If it comes down to where he's not going to get his money because somebody took my mail and didn't give it to me, then yeah, that's going to be his problem at that point. And I'll be like, look, my fucking money came in the mail and someone's holding on to it and I'm not getting my mail. What am I supposed to fucking do? But I'm getting way too far ahead on this. It hasn't even been 24 hours yet. So, but I'm just primed to expect crazy shit. And this thing with, so I'm going to have to buy a mailbox and screw it onto the front door, out in front of the tiny house here. And so that whoever goes and gets the mail can put my mail in the fucking mailbox, I guess. And I don't get that much mail. I'm not concerned. Honestly, the only thing, these 2 envelopes that came in the mail yesterday, I need them both. 9 times out of 10, I don't even care what shows up in the mail. I do everything electronically, but some things, somebody sends me a check in the mail, I have to get the fucking check. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. It's not like there's been people, people have been living on this property for a long time, so I'm sure I don't got to worry about it. But I have to get a hold of the landlord, and he hasn't responded to my text. But it is early on Sunday morning, so maybe he's just trying to be polite and not, wake me up. Or all I know is I need to get that shit. If it showed up in the mail yesterday, which it did, because the post office sent me a screenshot of it and said, this is your mail today. And I've been doing that informed delivery for long enough to know that if I get the email and it has the photograph of the envelope, then it is in my mailbox that day. 100%. So, but I'm a little bothered that, now I'm glad that the guy didn't just put the envelopes on the steps for the wind to just blow it away. You know what I mean? So if he's holding on to it and just waiting to bring it over, might get a knock on the door here in a couple hours. Hey, I got your mail, or something like that. So I'm just gonna put a, if I have to spend $20 on a box to put on the front door and put a mailbox out there, so fucking be it. Maybe the landlord will let me take $20 off the rent. Any improvements that I do to the place, I should. But he seemed, I don't have any beef with anybody yet. I just know that check doesn't get in my hands, that rent doesn't get in the landlord's hands. That's what pays my bills here. Which leads right into the next thing. Trolls. I've banned 4 trolls now from the channel. But what I've figured out, it wasn't that hard to figure out. It wasn't like a big fucking mystery or anything, but what was I gonna say? I'm just looking at messages that pop up in front of me. I'll respond to some comments here because I'm looking at a stream of them. One thing that happened, I don't know why, YouTube no longer emails me when I get comments on the channel. I used to get an email every time somebody would leave a comment, and as of June 16th, they stopped. It's June 22nd now. I haven't received a single email about a single comment from my YouTube channel since June 16th. I don't know why. Other people on like Reddit and places like that, when I search Google, are saying that that same thing happened to them, and then they magically started getting their notifications again. So I'm gonna have to look at my settings and see if there's something it could be either broken, or maybe YouTube just said, fuck it, we're not doing that anymore. I don't know. So I have to go. It's harder for me to see when people leave comments, but there's still other places for me to go. I just don't get them in my email box all of a sudden. But along with that, 4 trolls, 4 of them got banned. I'm done. And in fact, I think, so all 4 of these trolls are the same person. There was this one troll that would show up on almost every video for over a year, just leaving some shitty fucking comment. And then I would out troll the troll and leave a comment to that asshole's comment. And I would say 9 times out of 10, YouTube would delete my comment to the troll and leave the troll's comment alone. And I was like, okay. So that you get the impression after a while that when I respond to the troll is hitting the little flag to report this person, report this comment, because little pansy got butt hurt and got his feelings hurt and decided to report my comment to YouTube, at which point they turn around and delete my comment. Because I would say things that wouldn't necessarily be flagged by a robot. That would have had to take a human reporting it or complaining about me to get it deleted. And so I'm like, okay, fine. I let him go for a long time. Finally, I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm deleting this guy. So I banned him. I hit the, it's 2 clicks of the fucking mouse, 2 taps of the finger if you're on your phone. It's easy as fuck. When you ban somebody from your channel, it automatically deletes every comment they ever posted anywhere. You don't got to go and delete them all yourself. Once you cross somebody off the channel, YouTube just obliterates anything they posted on your channel across the board. So I deleted this guy's comment, and within 3 hours, I deleted him from the channel, and 3 hours later or less, another random troll shows up, supposedly random troll, and starts saying the same shit and leaving all the same comments that this asshole was leaving. So I'm like, all right, fucker, delete. Crossed him off. And I could tell they're the same guy. They're the same person. Because it was the exact same comment that this guy leaves all the time. And so a day or 2 later, another troll shows up, one whose screen name and little avatar I've never seen before, and starts leaving the same kind of comments, but this time whoever it was did a copy-paste job and would just go from one video to another to another to another and copy and paste the same troll comment across multiple videos. And so I'm like, all right, bye, delete. Hit the delete button, blocked that user. The next day, another random new troll with a new avatar and a new screen name shows up, leaves the exact same fucking comment on video after video after video, and just copies and pastes the comment, the same comment on multiple videos across the channel. And I'm like, all right, asshole, delete. It's over. It's over. Game over. So it's nothing for me. It's 2 clicks of the mouse, 2 taps of a finger to block somebody from leaving a comment on my channel. But to go to the trouble of spinning up a brand new Gmail account and a brand new YouTube account, a brand new Google account, just so you can go to a channel and troll a guy who has 1,200 followers and leave shitty comments all over the channel. The same shitty comment of, you have a felony, you're a piece of shit, you're a fucking loser who works at a bakery, whatever the fuck you were saying. I'm pissing this guy off a lot more by deleting his fucking channel, or deleting him from the channel every time he shows up. Because now the fucker's got to go make a new Gmail account, a new Google account. He's got to come back to the channel, do it all over again. It takes a lot more work for him to come back every time than it takes for me to just go, banned. You're done. You're out of here. So I am going to start deleting people Fuck it. Why? Because why does a dog lick his own balls? Because he can. So why am I going to delete the trolls when they show up from, whatever, when they're acting like a troll? Because I can. That's why. Fuck you. That's the end of it. I'm done. I'm not going to get interrupted by my, I'm not going to get interrupted when I see a notification that someone left a comment and then be like, oh, it's that fucking asshole again. Even if it is 20 seconds out of my important day. I'm going to block you. And then, you can go spin up a new Google account. You can have 50 fucking Google accounts by the time we're done. And you're never going to leave a comment that sticks around for more than 5 minutes to an hour. Maybe an hour. Depends on what I'm doing that day and when I see it. Now, I'm not going to delete people's accounts who I might disagree with. There's a number of you out there who we go back and forth. You leave good comments. Sometimes I disagree. Sometimes, we have fun with it. That's totally different. A troll is a completely different animal than a commenter who I might disagree with from time to time. Even if you're a negative commenter who shows up and leaves nothing but negative comments, but I don't think you're just being a douchebag troll, I'll leave you alone. This one person must be really fucking hurt. His butt must be really fucking sore because he is one butthurt motherfucker to get to the point where you're spinning up new Google accounts just so you can show up to a guy's channel that's got 1,200 subscribers and leave a bunch of troll comments everywhere. Like, that's crossing the line to the point where this could be somebody I know in real life who's angry with me or something like that. And they're so butthurt that they got to come and show that they're mad every day. That it's that level of troll. I don't know yet one way or another, but I can tell that all 4 of the accounts that I banned are the same person. It could be some fucking retard from the FBI who's got nothing better to do than to come to a guy's channel who has 1,200 followers and shit on it every day, because you're certainly not doing anything about the pedophiles that raped kids on Epstein Island. You're not doing anything to go after the people that committed all the fraud and stole the election in 2020. You're not doing anything to go after the people that were involved in the attempted assassination on Donald Trump. Let's let some fucking little kid, some high school kid, climb up on the roof of a building 100 yards away from a president while people in the crowd are pointing out to the cops, hey, there's a guy with a gun. He's climbing up on the roof. There's a guy with a gun. Stop him. And all the cops just are like, oh. We got snipers on the roof on another building behind Donald Trump who can look at that roof and look at the kid climbing up on the roof with a fucking rifle. And they wait until the kid takes a couple of shots before they do anything about it. And, they're just going to turn around. The FBI is going to say, no, that was just a lone nut job who did it all by himself. Get the fuck out of here. If you believe that, you're a complete fucking moron. But that means that people in the FBI have a lot of free time to go and do shit like spin up a bunch of fucking Google accounts to show up to a guy's channel that has 1,200 followers and leave troll comments all day. Because you're not doing anything useful. So, I'm sure you got plenty of fucking time to do that all day. But whoever it is, someone's got a problem. Because they're going to a lot of trouble. They're going to a lot of trouble to show up on this channel and leave their stupid ass comments everywhere. And there's a couple of other trolls. There's one troll that stopped coming because I just shot him down and he didn't come. He hasn't been back since. And I know he's a fucking weirdo. I talked about him a couple of times. I said, go look at his channel. You'll see what's up. And then there was a couple other ones that I think are the same guy whose 4 channels I just banned. Because I think about it and I'm like, those other comments that those other people were leaving are all kind of the same. It's like the same rehashed comment over and over and over again, to the point it could be a bot. It could be bots that are showing up and doing it. I mean, AI has gotten to the point where you could just launch a bot attack on somebody's channel and just have a bunch of fucking bots create fake Google accounts, troll somebody's channel all fucking day long, and just keep doing it and doing it and doing it electronically. And there's probably a way to do that, even though Google tries to put things in place and obstacles to keep bots from creating multiple accounts. So I don't know. It probably is a human. Just because of that reason alone, I know that setting up a Google account takes a few steps. You can have multiple Google accounts. They're not going to stop you from having a bunch of accounts. I've done it myself for different reasons. But you can have multiple YouTube channels with multiple email accounts and Gmail accounts associated with those. You can only have, I believe you can only have one YouTube channel per Gmail, per Google account. Now Rumble is the opposite. Rumble lets you spin up as many channels as you want with the same user account, but I don't think YouTube allows you to do that. So if I did create a separate YouTube channel for, say, photography and photo editing tutorials, I would have to have a completely different Gmail account and YouTube account associated with that. But I could grant access. I could make it so that both YouTube handles can manage both accounts. But I wouldn't be able to spin up a new channel without a new account. So anyway, yeah, have at it, you fucking idiots. I'll just keep banning you if that's what you're going to show up here and do. But the rest of you, I can just go through the random comments that I see right now. I mean, I get notifications all day long. Robot Nielsen 5434. People got to come up with some better screen names. With the number at the end, you got to come up with something that you don't need the 54936 at the end or whatever, unless the numbers mean something. Then that's a different story. But not sure if you talked about it already, but did you ever get your security deposit back from the old place? No. No, I said that. When I moved in here, I read you the text message that the guy sent. What did he say? He said, due to the damages, whatever fucking damage he means, he basically came up with a bunch of fucking bullshit reasons to keep my security deposit, including whatever damages were done to the place, and the fact that I didn't give him a 30-day notice that I was leaving. So for me to get my security deposit back, I gotta take him to court to get whatever. By the time it's all done, he could probably deduct some shit from it, and I'd end up with $500. Is it worth going to fucking court? Filing, I would have to file a court fee, so there's $150 right there gone from the top. So 500, 400, $300 I'm gonna walk away from taking this asshole to court, unless I get a judgment for more because of all the stuff that he did. That maybe, there's a possibility. There's a slight chance in hell I could end up with like 15 grand from the guy if it all went my way, but then how do I collect it? This guy's paying restitution to like 100 different people for all the frauds and scams that he committed. So I'm just going to be waiting in line after I get my $300 judgment. Like, at what point is it just not worth it to go chasing after the guy? I don't know. I don't know how it works where you live, but I've never really known anybody who had an easy time getting their security deposit back from a rent. When you pay a security deposit for a rental, kiss that goodbye. It's gone. Like, that's just a fee that you're paying the landlord because they're allowed to charge it. Landlords are notoriously bad about giving back security deposits. They'll do anything in their power to keep that money. Have I lost every security deposit I've ever paid? No. But I would say if I went through a list of all the places that I've ever lived, I would say 75% of the time you don't get your security deposit back. Not without a fight. And the landlords know this. They know that if I just keep my money, because once you give it to them, it's theirs. They're supposed to keep that shit in an escrow account. There's all kinds of rules. They don't fucking follow the rules. This is landlords everywhere. This is landlord 101. Never give back the security deposit without a fight. Now, I've had a couple of good landlords who were professional, who were good people, who would not keep the security deposits. But it doesn't take much to itemize a month's worth of rent when you move out of a place. Cleaning fees, repairing this and that and the other thing. You know, even if it's normal wear and tear shit, they 75% of the places I've lived where I've paid a security deposit, I've never seen a dime of that shit come back. I would say 25% of the time, yes, they will. Or they'll keep some of it for cleaning. They'll say, well, we had a professional company come in and steam clean the rugs and this and that and the other thing. So I just, treat them like they treat you. That's why when I moved out of the tool shed, I didn't give the guy any notice. Fuck him. I knew that he was going to be that much of a dick. I figured I'll take the last month that I'm living there and not have to deal with him coming in and out all the time, showing people the place and all the different shit like that, and just move out in peace. And then I'll tell him I'm gone. And with all the shit that he's done to me since I lived there, he's not going to have any grounds to take me to court. But is it worth me taking him to court financially? Probably not. I'm just going to look, because I already know. Yep, the ad is still up. It's June 22nd. The ad is still listed on Craigslist. He has it, which means he hasn't filled the place yet. So my prediction, it's June 22nd today. Mark this down. Sometime towards the middle or the end of July, he's going to reduce the rent that he's advertising for this place, probably by $200. Well, 100. He'll go back down to $750. He's got it listed for $900. Nobody's going to move into this place for $900 a month. You can get a place like where I'm living right now for $900 a month. That's got a fucking bathroom and a kitchen. He's not. I've seen nice 1-bedroom apartments with full kitchens and bathrooms for less than $900 a month around this area. He's not going to get $900 for that. Never. I guarantee you that ad is going to show back up before the end of July, where he's going to put $750 a month. And then it's going to disappear from Craigslist. And then I'm just going to check once a week or so. So that'll be the August, September. So sometime in the middle of September, towards the end of September, he's going to have this ad relisted at $900 a month, which means he put a new tenant in there paying $750 a month. And he's getting ready to do the same thing to that tenant. Get the tenant in there, let him have a comfortable 2 months, and then I'm going to turn around and squeeze this guy for more money and do the same and shake him down the same way he tried to shake me down. Except it didn't work on me because I'm not fucking stupid. I shook him right back at the end because now he's losing money. He made out worse. If he would have just been a fucking decent guy for the 6 months that I was supposed to live there, he would have made his money and everything would have been smooth. But everything would have went smooth and I would have been out of there at the end of July for sure. I would have made every effort possible to get out of there by the end of July, but I would have had time to do it. Not this mad scramble of, oh shit, I got to get out of here right now, and having to put together, having to scramble to make it happen. So that's what's going to happen. I'm telling you, he's not going to get this place rented for the price that he wants. He's going to get somebody in there paying less. The person's going to be in there for 2 months, and he's going to turn around and try and shake the person down for another $200 a month. And he's not going to get at that point, it's going to be whatever happens. But this fucking shady little dickhead, he's not going to win. He's losing now because he's a piece of shit. So that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. So I just have this ad bookmarked. I can click on it and just check to see if it's there. When it disappears, I'll go and search again to see if it's showed up relisted with a different price. And then, like I'm telling you, this is going to take 2 to 3 months for my predictions to show fruit. But I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen. He may have better luck in the winter getting away with it, because who the fuck wants to move when it's 30 degrees outside? You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I moved in February, and it was a nice 75 degree day, bright and sunny and beautiful day when I moved in. So I don't know. But we did have some cold days after I got in there. It was February 1st when I moved in. Let's see. So with that said, trying to look, did I get rid of those? I had a direct bookmark to the garage apartment where the landlord was jerking me around. I can just go right into Facebook Marketplace here and hit this saved listings. So the garage apartment that I was trying to move into, the guy keeps refreshing the ads so that they show up at the top of your list when you log into Facebook Marketplace. Now, I'm no longer looking for a place to live, but Facebook Marketplace hasn't caught up to that yet. So, yep, there's 2 ads for the same place, different pictures on both ads, but the ads were put up by his kids. He says he doesn't have a Facebook account, and he's got a son and a daughter, and the one son used to live in the place. The daughter is they both put up an ad for his place. It's June 22nd, still available. Now, when I was trying to move into the place, how many times did he tell me, well, I've got somebody coming to look at it tomorrow, and then I've got 2 people coming on Wednesday, and then I've got another person coming on Friday, and then 2-3 people are coming over on Saturday. He told me that 20 different people looked at this fucking apartment, and that was between May 1st, May 2nd, somewhere around there. I went and looked at it the first few days of the month of May. And by May 15th, he was still jerking me around, telling me, oh, I'm showing it to this person and that person. He showed it to like 20 to 25 fucking people, according to him, when I gave up on it and decided to move here. Now it's June 22nd, and the place is still listed. Like, is he showing this place to 25 people a week? Or was he just brushing me off? He said he has a real estate agent helping him find a tenant, etc. But if he really wanted to brush me off, why would he answer the phone and talk to me on the phone about it? And why would he have taken all the time to do that? If I was brushing somebody off, I would ghost them. Especially if I'm showing an apartment to 20 people a week and I don't want to rent to them, I'll just ghost and leave the ad up and just not respond to the person I don't want to rent to. Like, it's that fucking simple. So, like some of you have pointed out, and like I already knew, by the time I gave up on the place, I'd already came to the conclusion that this guy's gonna be a fucking nightmare as a landlord. Yeah, the place is nice, and yeah, he did a good job building it out, and it's very clean, and it's well maintained, and it has nice appliances, and there's 20 other things I can say about this place, and it seemed like it would be a great place. But the landlord lives right there in the house. There's a covered awning attached to the garage building and the house. And so the front door of both are on opposite ends of this covered walkway. And so he's literally right across the walkway when I look out the window, and vice versa. You think that if the guy is going to be that much of a pain in the ass when it comes to moving into the place, do you think he's going to be a pain in the ass landlord after you've moved in? Abso-fucking-lutely. He's going to be a nightmare. He's going to be up your ass about the smallest things. He's going to be finding excuses to come into the place and look around so that he can find things to get pissed at you about. He's like, oh, I got to come in there and look at this or check this or fix that or double check this thing. He's just looking for reasons to come in your door like a vampire and look around and see if you're taking care of his place and if you're doing something that he doesn't like, etc. Bringing my bicycles inside, you know what I mean? Like, that might be something he gets pissed about, having my bicycles in the place. Well, you're bringing wet bicycles into my apartment, after you've been riding in the rain and shit like that. It's like, yeah, clean up the fucking mess too. I'm working on my bicycles right here. There's not a mark on the floor. I did a whole fucking tune-up. I put a fucking garbage bag down to catch any of the drippings. There were some blue Loctite got flung up onto the side of the fridge. I wiped that down. Like, it's not that hard to keep the space clean. It adds more work. If I had a regular bike shop, if I had like a workshop, I wouldn't have to put anything on the floor. If I had a concrete floor or whatever, I'd just, sweep it up or whatever, but I wouldn't have to like worry about getting stains on a concrete floor. But this place had really nice floors, so I would take care of them if I had moved into that place. But I could tell this guy is going to be a fucking pain in the ass, huge pain in the ass after you move in, if he's being this much of a pain in the ass before you even move in. Here, I've got a few problems at this place. I've shared a few. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, but I feel like my problems here are easier to deal with and pretty tame in comparison to the problems I would have had at a place like that. And so, that is what it is, and I'm fine. I think everything happened for a reason. I really liked the place, but it did cost more money. I would have had to come up with a lot more money to move in, but my rent payment at the end of June would have been less than what I have to come up with here in a week. Or so. I absolutely need to get that check that showed up in the mail yesterday, or we're having some problems. But the money will be there as long as everything's, cool. And so, I dodged a bullet on that one. That apartment's been sitting vacant for 3 fucking months, and I guarantee you he's had people wanting to throw money at him to move in. I'm not the only one who wanted to move into that place. I guarantee you, if I wanted to move into that place so bad because of how nice it was, now, I think there are people that would go and look at that place and say, yeah, it's nice, but the fucking landlord lives right there. We're basically sharing I don't want the landlord to be that close to me. I don't like this, I don't like that. There's definitely reasons why people would look at it and say, yeah, that's nice, but I don't know. This place here, I came and looked at it, and I didn't want to live here. I'm like, yeah, it's nice, I could make this work, but I want to see what else I can find. And I found places that I liked better. Multiple places that I liked better. And each one of them had an issue, like no appliances, or the internet doesn't work, or the internet doesn't work and there's no appliances, or there were a couple other problems with places, or the garage apartment with the guys just jerking me around and all this and that. I keep seeing for 75 grand, there's a 1 bedroom, 1 bath, pretty much the same size as this place. There's a house for sale by owner. I don't know what that entails. Next to a lake in Texas, here outside of Houston. I'm looking at a photo of the deck, which is looking at a dock on the lake, and I forget how many what's the word? It's, you can see from the front, from the deck of this house, lake right there with a dock, 75 grand. But it, like I said, it's the same size as the place I'm living right now. I'm pretty sure. I'd have to look at the door. I'd have to use the door as a reference point in the photo, keeping in mind that the door is probably 36 inches wide, and then I can figure out the rest of the dimensions from there by using some tools in Photoshop. But he has no photos of the inside of the place, which is a red flag, and it says newly remodeled, just needs new flooring. Well, if it's newly remodeled, why the fuck didn't you remodel the floor? Like, what do you mean remodeled and it's on stilts? It's up off the ground, as a lot of places are here in Texas. So that tells you that it floods. So what happened? It got remodeled and he didn't replace the floor because it's gonna flood, and the floor gets ruined whenever it floods, even though it's up on stilts and it's high up off the ground. But a lakefront house would be kind of cool, you know? I like to kayak and canoe and go out on the water and stuff like that. I don't like to get eaten by alligators, but other than that, you know, it might be all right. I might not want to go out on I might not want to get a canoe or a kayak that an alligator can just flip over and, you know, get a free meal. Maybe something with a little more weight to it. Because I can't carry what I would need to carry to fight back against an alligator. But price is all right. It wouldn't be big enough though if I was gonna buy a place to live, I would want something big enough where my kids could come and stay. So I don't know. I see things all the time, and I bookmarked this one. Owner, for sale by owner, typically means that there's no real estate agent, but you're gonna have to finance through a bank. Owner finance means that you pay the owner instead. You come up with you're basically paying a mortgage to a property owner versus straight to a bank. But they can be drafted up to be, basically it's a mortgage. You're just, the owner is the lender. That happens a lot with property like land. Big properties in land. I've seen things like that in West Virginia, Kentucky, and Tennessee. West Virginia being the most expensive per acre, followed by Tennessee, followed by Kentucky being the cheapest per acre. But there are a lot of people out there who make their money by doing rent-to-own kind of mortgage contracts for big pieces of land, where a bank would make you, even if you had good credit, a bank would put you through hell trying to buy a piece of land. Especially if you want to build an off-grid cabin or something like that, the banks will tell you to go fuck yourself, where people like that will just say, well, as long as you pay your bill every month, you'll never see me again. So anyway, I think I did okay finding a place to live. Every single place I looked at out of the 5 or 6 that I looked at would have given me problems after moving in, be it a problem with the landlord, the mail, the internet, the bugs, whatever the fuck. Every single one of them would have had some issue. So you're not gonna, I mean, perfection is the enemy of done. And here's another one. I dodged another bullet in looking for a place to live. You might recall I went on an 80-mile bicycle ride. I get a little phlegmy sometimes here, especially in the mornings. I don't know, maybe it's the humidity. I don't smoke, I don't do anything to make that happen, if you will. But for some reason I don't know. It's probably the humidity. I'd like to live someplace hot that's not humid. That would be an upgrade, to move to the desert part of Texas. Like, maybe not El Paso where, you're right on the freaking border of Mexico, but somewhere dry. Hot and dry would be better than hot and humid. But hot and humid beats the shit out of 9 months of winter. I love it. I like the heat. I don't care. I go outside and it's hot. Like, it's hot, a little hot today. I don't have to wear 6 layers of clothes to go outside when it's hot. In Jamestown, in fucking July, you gotta put on a winter coat. Or July, in April, you gotta put on you can't take your winter coat and put it away until like the middle of June. And then by the middle of August, you got to get your winter coat back out. So you may as well never even put it away. So anyway, so in April, I went on an 80-mile bicycle ride. And I looked at this tiny house, and it was in an RV park, and I talked about this, and it was beautiful. It was a really cool little building. All utilities included. It was in the national forest. It was a really secluded, it looked all right. I wanted to do it. Price-wise, it was the cheapest place out of everything I looked at. When I met some of the people there, I felt like I'd get along with them. I get along with rednecks and country folk better than I do with people in the city all day long. So, that was all right. The internet was a big problem. They had free Wi-Fi for all the guests, and it was poor, it was slow. My phone didn't get a good signal out there. So it was just the internet. The internet was no good. And then a week later, I saw that she had rented the place out. I'm like, all right, it's gone. Well, about 2 weeks after that, maybe 3, the place was listed as available again. And it had a lower monthly rent and down payment than it had when I went and looked at it. And I'm like, So I called her again to talk to her about the internet situation, because she said she was getting fiber optic put in and the internet was gonna be better. Well, I asked her if that had been done, and she said no. And I'm like, okay, there's a bit of there's another red flag. Because when I talked to her a few weeks beforehand, she said she was doing it within the next week or two, and here it's like 3 weeks later, and she said, no, I haven't gotten around to that yet. Okay, fine. And I asked her if the tiny house could be hooked up directly to the fiber optic when they install it, and she didn't have a problem with that. I even said, I'm like, it'll make the place easier to sell or to rent if there's a direct connection there. Well, she didn't have a problem with that. She said, you'll have to call the company and see. And it was some hillbilly backwoods internet service provider. I don't even know the name of it. Just it sounded bad just from talking to the people on the phone. And from the long story short is, it was going to be like 4 months of hassles and bullshit just to get a cable run to the cabin, if they would do it. And it was not viable at that point. So I was just like, yeah, I'm done. That was all I needed to know. I need internet. I need good internet. That's not even negotiable. Like, have to have it. And then I saw the place was rented again, and I'm like, okay, fine. So I still had messages back and forth in my Facebook Marketplace inbox. So when you don't delete the messages that you send back and forth, if the listing of an ad changes and then you go to your inbox in Facebook Marketplace, that ad will show up at the top of your list. Even though you haven't communicated with the person, it'll show up with a message saying the listing has changed. And so, like Thursday this last week, that damn ad bumped up to the top of my inbox because I wasn't even paying any attention. There's a lot of shit in my inbox. And, but I'm like, it said it was available again. It's not even been a month since the place was listed as unavailable and rented, and now it's available again. This is like the third time this has happened since April. So this is the third time that it's been listed as rented, and less than a month later it's available again. 3 times in a row. And then I read that she changed the wording of the listing, and it said that this time there would be no lease. She won't do a lease for the place. It's going to be month to month from here out, and that she had the whole thing rezoned and categorized so that it's part of the RV park, and that she can give you a 24-hour notice to vacate whenever she wants you to leave, and she doesn't have to take you to court for an eviction to get you out of there. She can have the police show up in 24 hours and remove you from the property because you're a guest at an RV park at that point. And I was like, whoa, that's some shady shit right there. Like, what happened? Like, what's going on with this place? And I'm just kind of like, because when I was talking to her, she said to me that she would do a 1-year lease for me, and that she would be fine with that. But what in the fuck made 2 people ditch this place or get kicked out less than a month after the place said it was rented? Did the woman did she get them in there and then just throw them out in order to keep their money and get somebody else in there and keep recycling that security deposit and down payment shit? Or, like, I don't fucking know, but that was like holy shit level shady all of a sudden. And maybe she gets some fucking retards to move in there. Maybe she gets some bad people moving in there that have to be, kicked out because they're just crazy or something, I don't know. It's in that price range and it's out there, and I mean, maybe Ricky and Julian moved in from the trailer park in Canada, came down here, moved in there. I don't know. And then she had to kick them out. I don't know, but the whole thing just seems way shady at this point. And I probably dodged a major bullet right there. So that's 3 different places that I've been told after I moved in here that I dodged a bullet by moving in here. That I don't have to deal with whatever I would have had to deal with moving in. It's just more indication that I moved to the right place. But I'm just gonna say, when this woman was telling me that she hadn't gotten around to putting the fiber optic in yet, she told me she had to sign a contract and she hadn't gotten around to it yet. And I was just like, man, my spidey sense was like way out there. I wouldn't even be able to get Starlink at that place because the place was covered with trees. That made it cool. I mean, it had tons of tree cover. There was cool things about this, but I'm like, I think God was just guiding me through this whole thing. I got to go on, basically I ended up going on an interesting bike ride out in the country and got to see some more of Texas. But that was all it was for. There wasn't anything worthwhile going out there for. I never really got fixated about any of the places I was looking at through this whole process. Even that luxury garage apartment that I really wanted to move into, I would have taken it in a heartbeat. But now I'm glad I didn't. I still had the ability to walk away from the deal. You know, it's like when you go to a car dealership and you've got, okay, this is what I'm gonna pay, and you're not gonna go up another dollar. If the car dealer doesn't meet you, then all right, walk away. You have to be willing to walk away from a deal, or the seller has you by the balls. And once the seller knows they got you by the balls, they're not gonna negotiate, they're not gonna cave, and they're not gonna do anything. When they know you don't give a fuck and you're just gonna walk away, then it's up to the seller to decide how bad they wanna sell. And the seller might be stubborn as well and say, well, this is it, take it or walk. And if you walk, okay, we'll go to the next guy. I mean, it happens. But if you're buying something like a car, you're looking at an apartment, you're buying a house, whatever the fuck, if it's a big purchase, if there's room, it's like it's going to the fucking flea market. Do you know how many times I'll go to a flea market, or when me and my son would go to the video game swap meets where it was just nothing but video game enthusiasts and collectors and stores and stuff setting up tables, like a video game collector's flea market. How many times I would pick something up off the table and go, oh, wow, look at that. I haven't seen one of those, and blah, 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 and this and that. And I'll be like, would you take this much? No, that's worth a lot more than that. I'd be like, oh, okay. Put it down, start walking away. You get like 30, 20 feet away. Hey, come back. How about this? Nah, I'm good. Okay, we'll do it for what you want. You know, like sometimes they want to close that sale. They want to get rid of that thing. And they know that the price I put out there will still leave meat on the bone for them to make some money off of it because they didn't pay that much for it. But I'm not paying, you know, like I don't want the thing that bad. I do that shit all the time. And no, it doesn't always work. And sometimes you got to make your rounds around a place like that because you might see the same thing on another vendor's booth and get a better deal. And then you'd be kicking yourself if you bought the one over there when you saw a better one over here for less money. So you kind of have to you guys got to be willing to walk away. Got to be willing to walk away. When you're willing to walk away, things go your way more often than not. When you get fixated on that one thing, like if I just decided to put all my eggs in the basket of trying to get that garage apartment and bending over backwards and doing whatever it took to get in there because I was fixated on it, that's where I want to live, I would have fucked myself at the end of the day. And I'd probably be going through a bunch of shit right now because of it. And right now I've got a few problems that are significant enough for me to be irritated about them, but I don't think it's anything major. None of the problems I've encountered since I moved in here have been something that I really need to stress about. I've been under way less stress for the last, it's 23 days. It's been 23 days that I've lived here. It feels like it's been longer because I'm comfortable already, but it's been 23 days. And, the bug control issue is the biggest problem I've had here. The mail, I hope the mail doesn't become a problem because somebody's holding on to a fucking check right now that they pulled out of this mailbox that I'm supposed to have. So I hope that by the end of the day that's resolved. It could be. I could have gotten a text while I'm talking to you guys while I'm shooting this video. Let me take a look here. There is a text. It says I should have got it. So, all right, I'll have to send him a text back. Maybe it'll come. Maybe it didn't come on Saturday. Maybe I'll figure it out. Anyway, So yeah, I gotta respond. So yeah, we'll figure that out. Yeah, the bug control. So I sprayed the entire garbage can because I figure if there's a food source, I'm not taking my damn garbage out every day and taking out, garbage can that's not full and ready to go. So I figure I'm gonna spray the shit out of this garbage can, all four sides, and just see what happens. And there was a pile of dead bugs right next to the fucking garbage can the next day. So they tried to climb up into it, and that was it. And now I haven't seen anything since. So that Alpine WSG, that's step one. That fucking did that was good. That was good shit. I would totally recommend that, just based on my experience with one shot of that. I was irritated about seeing insects that you don't want. And now I'm like, I'm not seeing anything after one shot of that. But, that was like dropping a napalm bomb on and taking out everything in sight. So anyway, I don't know, maybe that was good because, it's bad enough to see a few cockroaches when you're not supposed to see those, but black widow spiders, scorpions, things like that live here in Texas, I certainly don't want to see that shit either. And maybe this is a good thing to just get that shit out of the way. But I don't really have to break my back. From what I see right now, I don't have to break my back to fix this problem. I just have to do some preventative chores. Just, along with cleaning the house, just step 2, get the caulk gun and seal up holes. Seal up the holes and anyway, yeah, I kind of got it in my head about getting this mail situation taken care of. But yeah, problem is, like, when you go to the grocery store, fucking Target or any of these department stores, none of the shit that you get there is going to do the job. You have to do some research. Go on. It's always going to be something that you have to order, and Amazon pretty much has everything. When I had weed problems and I don't mean marijuana, I mean like weeds out in the yard. I had some overgrowth out in my place in Amish country, and I cared enough about the place, even though I rented this house, to take care of the yard and do nice landscaping. But I paid a guy to help with that. I paid a guy to mow my yard, and every now and then I would pay him extra to do some things that were going to be heavy labor for me. I paid him once to trim a tree that woodpeckers were killing this one tree, and the landlord was going to come just cut the tree down. And I'm like, let's see what, so I told the guy, I told my lawn guy that he was going to cut down the tree, and he goes, don't do that. Comes over with a pole saw and he trims this tree. I'm telling you, the tree just went boof and came right back to life. There were a lot of woodpecker holes and stuff, and like the woodpeckers were this tree got infected with some sort of caterpillar moth thing that kills trees. And it was bad. And a lot of the trees around my property were getting hit with this shit. He knew what it was. He goes, no. He's like, trim this tree back. He's like, just pick the healthy branches. He did a great job. I'm telling you, this tree just went, the 1 August when he trimmed the tree didn't have any leaves on it. It looked like it was about to die. I'm like, it's not even going to come back. He is like, no, you watch. He trimmed this fucking tree up. When spring came, the tree just went boof, and it like came right back. Leaves, covered in leaves, flowers. It was a flowering tree. For 1 week in the spring, it would have all these big fucking flowers on it, and then they would fall to the ground about a week later, and then, you know, your whole yard would be covered in these white flowers. And it was a really cool tree. And it had all kinds of new branches just shooting out from every direction the spring after he trimmed it. And this tree came right back to life, like there was nothing wrong with it after he did his job. I wouldn't have done a good job. Like, he knew what he was doing. He saved this tree's life. He gave me all kinds of spray this, do that, chemical, get this chemical, spray it here, do this. You'll never see that weed again. You'll never have a problem over there again if you just spray this stuff. It wasn't like Roundup. Some of the stuff he's like, yeah, don't spray this anywhere you're gonna grow food if you just want to pull the weeds back. He's like, get this stuff, it's a knockout blow. Just spray it all over this area. That shit'll be gone in a week. Things like that. He was really good about that, but a lot of this shit you can only get online. You can only get it on Amazon and shit like that. He was like, you know, all these things around the house, these cracks and crevices where you got shit fighting and you're always fighting it back. He's like, do this, do that. You won't have a problem again. It was great. You get, you know, natural remedies, and like over here off to the side of your property, you got this overgrowth. You want to get rid of that? Spray this. Psst, done. He's like, I'll come in and clean out the brush, but it won't happen again. Like, once you kill this stuff at the root, it's never going to come back. Get some grass growing back there, get some other things to take it over, so that this stuff can't come back. And like, he just kind of helped me through it and gave me all kinds of good advice. Whenever I had issues with bugs like wasps building a nest inside the walls and stuff, when the guy would come over, he wasn't just coming over to spray. He was coming over to tell me what to do. He's like, if you don't want me to have to keep coming back, just get this, do that. He's like, you'll never have to call me again. You won't have anything coming in here. He's like, make sure you go around the whole perimeter of the house and spray this shit every 3 to 6 months. You know, do this, do that. Put this, like, get this stuff and sprinkle it around the edge of the property. You won't. He's like, He's like, put your bug zapper here, put another bug zapper there, this, that. He, like, really good job. Really good job. I mean, we had ticks and mosquitoes and all kinds of shit to deal with bug-wise outside, and I was able to get it to where you could just sit outside and not be bothered by it, by putting things in the right spots and spraying and doing whatever, you know, to take care of that shit without killing all the wildlife that I enjoyed watching in the yard. But anyway, but speaking of the grocery store, I decided to try grocery delivery for the first time, and I went to Walmart because their grocery store, there's a Walmart grocery store less than a mile away right at the end of the road I live on. And I went there in person one day, and I hate Walmart. I'm not gonna lie, I hate Walmart, but it's right there. And I figured Amazon grocery delivery, they would use Whole Foods to fulfill grocery orders. And Whole Foods is kind of hit or miss. Price-wise, I queued up an order on Amazon to have grocery delivery, and then I let it sit there. And then I went to the actual grocery store down here, the Walmart store, and I'm like, I did way better price-wise than the Whole Foods order. Even though some of the things at Whole Foods were cheaper, Whole Foods is just more expensive. It's a fucking yuppie, overpriced grocery store. You can get some things there. If you have mobility, my suggestion is to use multiple grocery stores and get the best price on everything that you buy from multiple places. You know, if the meat is better at Whole Foods, go there just to get the things that are worth going there to get. But don't do your whole grocery shopping at Whole Foods. You're going to pay way too much. But anyway, I figured, you know, my biggest fear was that you're going to get I do grocery delivery, and I'm going to get the black bananas. I'm going to get the apple with the worm in it. I'm going to get moldy lemons, all that kind of stuff. But I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to try it because I have 3 days to go to the bakery. Here it's Thursday afternoon, late in the afternoon, like 5, close. It's after 5 o'clock. I didn't even know if I could get my groceries delivered. I had to go to the grocery store. I'm like, I'm not going to have food for the weekend if I don't, or it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. I mean, I always have something to make up, but I'm out of fresh food. I'm out of good stuff. I had to take care of it. So I knew I'm going to be coming home exhausted Friday, Saturday. I'm going to be exhausted today, which is Sunday. Tomorrow I go back to the bakery. I'm going to be exhausted again. And then Tuesday I'm going to be exhausted as I recover from all this shit. And so I'm like, today's the day to try it if ever there was. And then as soon as I placed the grocery order, it started to rain really hard outside. And I'm like, there you go. There you go. There's a sign from above that it was probably worth it. I mean, it was like a $12 tip to the driver, but I didn't pay any delivery fees because I signed up for a free trial of the Walmart plan. And you get like Paramount Plus and some other crap off to the side. It's just like Amazon Prime, but Walmart version of it. So I figured I'd try it because the prices are the same as the grocery store. If I were to walk down there, everything is the same price as it would be if I was there. And so the only thing that came back where I felt like it was a little weak were the lemons. I ordered like 2 lemons because that's all I need. I just want water with lemons on certain days. And I ordered 2 lemons, and normally I get these big honking lemons, really good firm lemons. The lemons that they gave me were kind of small. And I don't know if that's just what they had that day in terms of the lemons, but the lemons that I bought a week earlier were way better than the ones they gave me, but they weren't like moldy or soft, or they were firm, and they weren't shitty lemons. They just weren't as big. But sometimes the big lemons have thicker skin, and so what's inside the lemon, it's not like a whole lot different in terms of the amount of lemon juice I'm going to get to mix with my water. So it wasn't like that. I mean, that's the only thing I can really say. My salads, I got salad kits. The expiration date was far out. All the juices that I ordered, apple juice, orange juice, that kind of shit, anything with an expiration date was fine. I got ground beef. I got 5 pounds of ground beef. The expiration date, way off. It wasn't like tomorrow. I still have it in my fridge 2 days after I bought it, and I have more time to. But today I'm gonna divvy it up into burger patties and freeze it. Plus I got parchment paper, so now I can freeze my burger patties without them sticking together. That was a problem in the last week or so. I was packaging 2 burger patties at a time, but I didn't have anything to put in between them, so I was just like, fuck it, I'll let them stick together. But I made sure to only put 2 per container in the freezer, and it took me less than a week. Well, I have 2 burger patties left in the freezer right now that I'll thaw out to make. I'm gonna make some burgers later today, but I'm gonna put these ones. I've got some buns that need half-pound burgers to fill the bun. The buns are bigger. Normally I do 1/4 pound patties whenever I buy packages of ground beef, and then I used to just shrink wrap them with the shrink wrap thing, whatever, the vacuum sealer, whatever brand. I can't even, my mind's not functioning properly with those kind of specific things. But I had a vacuum sealer at the old house, and it was pretty good. But I could do things like that. I could pre-make burger patties and then just vacuum seal them. Boom, 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 boom. Just have it at the ready in the freezer. Take 5-10 pounds of ground beef, make patties out of them, or make 1 pound blocks for, like spaghetti or whatever, and just, weigh it all out, portion it out, and then freeze it in smaller packages so that I'm not pulling out a 5-pound block of beef and then having to thaw it and cook it all in a week. So that's all I'm doing. The online delivery for groceries worked out all right. It was tolerable. It was all right. First experience with it was kind of nice. So I'll probably do it again. I probably won't always do it, but it certainly, on Thursday, it definitely beat putting on a backpack and walking down there, filling up a backpack and walking home. It beat the crap out of doing that. For a $12 tip to the driver, yeah, I mean, but I do prefer to go to a store and walk around and make my decisions and grab the produce and, and also see things off to the side. Oh, check that out, But I also had a list of everything I wanted to get. And so it was very quick. It was quicker to find everything on my list by just going to the website, typing in what I'm looking for, and then it's all just listed by, most of the default sorting was price per ounce. Like if you're looking for bacon, the default sort for the search results was the price per pound. Cheapest price per pound up to the most expensive price per pound. And so like certain things, it went fast for me to find everything on the list. But I'll probably have to do this in combination with going down there in person and shopping sometimes. And I can't stand Walmart. So I'm thinking like maybe HEB, the grocery store that I like, maybe I know they have delivery as well. So maybe I can start getting my groceries delivered from HEB instead of Walmart and do it that way. And then if I have to walk to the grocery store, I can go down to this Wally World grocery store and pick up things when I need to. But maybe a combination of Amazon, HEB grocery delivery, and walking to Walmart, the Walmart grocery store. That might be the best way for me to do groceries from here forward. And just figure out who's got the best prices. So I think I'm just gonna, like, instead of trying to carry everything on my back or on a bicycle until I get a car, I'll just do it that way. I think I'll have an easier time getting this car situation figured out because there's a guy who wants to send me a car. But this next rent payment's going to be huge. I mean, I had to come up with about $3,000 to live in a place for 2 months when I was paying $750 a month with all utilities included prior to that. So yeah, $750 a month to all of a sudden having to cough up $3,000 like that. Just to have a place to live for 2 months, that's rough. That's a rough ride. Because I had to pay the first month's rent, half of the security deposit. Now I got to pay the second month's rent and half of the security deposit, plus everything else that happened in between. I'm tapped. I'm fucked. I'm not fucked, but I'm tapped out. I can't do everything I want to do. I did the things I had to do this month. I mean, the washing machine, I didn't get a dryer. I got the washing machine with no dryer. I got the bicycle rack. I can't have the bicycles just fucking getting in my way. There's a few other things I bought. Look, I got my list right here. Okay, so I have an estimated total, everything I want to do to the house. Specifically related, I'm not talking about random shit for the kitchen and cooking stuff, and that's on a different list. Like just random things that I don't have to cook. I don't have a casserole dish. I don't have rags for my cast iron. I don't, just random things that I come up with when I'm cooking something. I'm like, oh, What do? I don't have that. I didn't have a can opener when I moved into the tiny shithole. I figured out I didn't have a can opener when I got a can that needed opened, and I'm like, shit, what do? I didn't even have a camping version of it to pry it open. I'm like, what do? I just jab a screwdriver in there for now and pry the thing open? Yeah, no. But yeah, I had to go back to Target a couple days later and get a can opener. That kind of shit I'm not putting on the house list. My total right now, it was over $2,000, but I got a couple of deals on some things. So to do the whole thing, $1,932.26. That's to do everything I want to do to make this place comfortable, not just survivable, but comfortable. Some things had a higher priority than others. The things that I have done, $689.33 I've spent after I moved in here on the things that I needed. But let's talk about, what did I spend that on? I got a washing machine, $194 after taxes. I can do my laundry without having to go to the laundromat. If it's $10, $20 a week to go to the laundromat, and I have laundry every week. I had to do 2 loads just this last week with that thing, and that thing holds a lot of fucking clothes. I washed the cover to my bed in that thing, and it fit just fine. In fact, I put clothes in with it. It took a minute to dry, but it was dry by the end of the day. I had to get a shower head with a hose so that I could fill the bathtub. I had a shower head. I could take showers, but in order to fill the bathtub to sit and take a bath, you couldn't fill it up with the shower head quick enough. The water was cold by the time the tub gets full. That's not going to do. I had to get a shower curtain rod, a shower curtain rod hooks. So I couldn't even take a shower when I moved in because I didn't have a shower curtain. And I'm not going to just get water all over the fucking place. So that was day one stuff. I got a TV. If anything I have spent since the day I got out of prison was frivolous and unnecessary, it was buying a TV and a clamp mount to mount the TV on a wire shelving unit so that I could sit back and watch some TV. That was about $90 for the TV, and the wall mount was $28. So that was frivolous money I didn't need to spend. But honestly, for the last couple of weeks that I've had that TV to 9:30, 10 o'clock at night when it's dark outside and I'm tired and I'm just ready to chill, I could just chill in a little chair, watch a movie, and actually see the movie, details and stuff, because I was watching movies and stuff on a laptop and, wasn't the same. So, hey, whatever, we all got our weaknesses. But I had to spend $130 on 2 wire shelving units. One was 80 something, the other was 75, 85. Whoops. One was 75, one was 85 with after taxes, sales tax and stuff. But yeah, that's $160 there for wire shelving units, so that because I don't have any closets to put anything. Had to get a trash can, had to get the bike rack. That was over $100. I got a paper towel holder. You can see that behind me. I got paper towels on it. How do I even, there it is, right there. I feel like the weatherman trying to point to shit on the weather map that you don't see because you're just in front of a blue screen. That was $10, the paper towel holder. So, none of that, other than the TV, none of that is frivolous. That's just stuff to make the place livable. But it all costs money. So I've got about $1,242.93 to pick up a dryer for my clothes, the rubber flooring, the workshop, the workbench, and a stool for my workspace for the bicycle stuff. couple of other little doodads, doormat, some curtains. I don't have any curtains still. I put off getting curtains until I have money coming in again. A bed. I would like to have a bed. A bed, that's kind of on my priority list. A love seat and an ottoman, because I can't fit a full-size couch, but a 2-seat love seat with an ottoman, so it's kind of, so you can recline. That would be all right. But that's kind of lower on my list. And a laundry hamper and a shower curtain liner. Plus, there's things I've been thinking about, like I want to do to the door. Like, so there's other stuff that should go on this list, which is going to push the budget up. Like putting a deadbolt lock on the front door, and if I have to do it myself. But some of this stuff I could probably take out of the rent. Putting a mailbox in front of the door so the dude can put mail in the mailbox instead of just leaving it on, by the door. I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, that's pretty much that. I know this is a long video today. I didn't shoot a video for a few days, and but let's see. Yeah, I got my I got my TV, and I'm watching the Star Wars timeline, all of it, all the stuff that's a grown person could watch. I'm not watching the stuff that's meant for 5-year-old kids. It's more of the stuff. It's kind of like when some of these Star Wars shows, some of the Star Wars shows and movies are meant for adults. Some of them are meant for kids that are like 9-10 years old and older. And some of these Star Wars animated series, the 3D animation series, they're meant for like the 9 to 10-year-old kids and up, because there's stories going on. It's not just bright colors and stupidity for little tiny kids like Teletubbies and shit like that. It's kind of like when you got these suburban soccer mom Karens taking their kids to the movie theater to see a movie like Minions or like whatever, and then they all show up to work on Monday going, "Oh, did you get to go see Minions last week? Oh, it was so cute. It was so cute. And I love how they put jokes in the movies just for the adults that the kids don't understand, but all the grown-ups get a nice chuckle out of it because they put in those hidden jokes so that the adults have something that's fun to watch too. I love how they do that. I love it. Oh, their Minions are so cute." Yeah, so it's kind of like the guy version of the Karen and the soccer moms going to the Minions movie on the weekend with the kids, dragging the fucking husband out, who wants to just put a bullet in his head because he doesn't want to be there. But he has to do it because his wife made him. That's kind of like these Star Wars shows are like the guy version of that. Like the Clone Wars. I'm on the Clone Wars animated series. Now, this is back when George Lucas was still in charge of Star Wars, and so this is his 3D animated series. Dave Filoni is the guy who pretty much created it, or wrote all the stories and all of it. But I would say the age range is 9-10 years old and up. But there's stuff in there. If you're a fan of the movies, there's all kinds of information and stuff that explains things a lot better than if you just watched all the Star Wars movies and you didn't watch any of this other stuff. You wouldn't understand certain things that are going on, and certain things just don't make any sense. But when you watch the shows that go with it, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I can understand why, Count Dooku did, like, if you just watch the movies, you see Count Dooku show up, and you're like, who the fuck is this guy? Where'd he come from? Why is he just showing up on the scene out of nowhere? Like, well, there's a whole backstory to this guy. And there's other characters that have a really in-depth backstory, but in the movie they're barely in there. Darth Maul, he's the king of that. He's the one, like, when see, the thing is, when the Phantom Menace came out in the theaters, all the fucking movie posters had Darth Maul on the movie poster, and all the previews and all TV was Darth Maul. You know, like, everybody's like, I gotta go fucking see that. Everybody was all excited about that. Everybody I knew who was a Star Wars fan was like, oh my God, I can't wait. You see that fucking guy? Oh my God, he looks so badass, blah, blah, blah. And then you get there and you watch the movie and it's all this fucking Jar Jar Binks asshole running around. Me so stupid, me so clumsy, me so dumb, me so annoying, me so get on your nerves the whole movie. And this fucking Darth Maul guy is in the movie for like 2 minutes. And he's dead. But he's not dead. You know, spoiler alert. He didn't actually die. And he's got a whole fucking thing about him. There's all kinds of shit. If you watch all of Star Wars, you'll know more about Darth Maul than you'll know about Luke Skywalker. Because if you put all of Star Wars together from beginning to end with all these different shows and whatnot, you'll end up not knowing a damn thing about Luke Skywalker compared to like Darth Maul and characters that aren't even in the movies. But that was some false advertising right there, because I remember that shit I had just gotten out of art school a couple of years before this came out in the theaters, and I remember me and my best friend, the one I hang out with down here in Texas, we went to the fucking movie theater to go see this thing when it came out. And we're all like, yeah, this is going to be great. It's going to be great. And we leave the movie theater. We're like, what the fuck was that? Like, it was cool because you hadn't seen Star Wars in a movie theater for a long time. And the lightsaber fights and the certain parts of it were like, wow, that was really cool. But that Jar Jar Binks, that fucking thing, that ruined it. Oh my God, that ruined it. It ruined it. They like put this character in there for like comedy relief or whatever, kind of like C-3PO and R2-D2 in the original trilogy. But in the original trilogy, Han Solo, Princess Leia, and all these characters had attitude and they had good dialogue, and they made fun of each other. Han Solo would be like, all right, your worshipfulness, or all right, princess. You know, like telling her she's a fucking bitch. And like, without saying the words. And get off my ass, you fucking bitch. Shut up, you rich bitch. Like, that's how he was. And like, in the prequels, that when George Lucas took control, because in the original movies, George Lucas made them, but he had Hollywood people telling him what to do. Like, the studio, the funding, the people that funded the first 3 Star Wars movies that he made told him what to do. He had creative input, but he didn't have the final say when it came to shit. But because he became so big and so rich and powerful because of those movies, when he made those prequels, it was all George Lucas. Like, he was the boss and nobody was going to tell him what to do. And that's why they suck, because he doesn't know how to tell a good story. He just made this like dry banter. The dialogue is like, it's like rubbing sandpaper on your eyeballs to watch and like to listen to. It's terrible. Like, and he's got this Jar Jar Binks thing he threw in there to like make the kids like it and to like make the movie funny. And it's like the original Star Wars trilogy had funny parts and it was entertaining, and it's because the characters had personality. But in this prequel trilogy that he made, all the characters are as dry as a piece of fucking sandpaper and boring and just have no personality at all. And every single piece of dialogue is just straight talk, no inflection, no voices, no like, there's no emotion to it at all. It's just a dry, It's like kids sitting in English class reading Romeo and Juliet versus seeing Romeo and Juliet in an actual theater by Shakespearean actors. It's a totally different experience. In English class, when you're forced to read it and everybody's got to take turns, it's like, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore out thou, Romeo, come hitherto, come hither there. Let me, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, lay down your hair. And it's just fucking boring. But when you go see Shakespeare in a movie theater, or in a theater that's designed for Shakespearean plays, and they come out and they're like, henceforth thou wither to, and henceforth and hitherto, and whatever, you know, they're like, you're watching this and you're like, damn, this is pretty fucking good. This is actually good. I remember I hated this stuff when I saw Romeo and Juliet at the Pittsburgh Public Theater, which is a theater that kind of sticks out into the audience, and then there's like a bowl, and you sit in this bowl and you're watching it like you're sitting around the theater, and it's designed for plays like this. And they did Romeo and Juliet there, and we went there because they always had these like free happy hours where you go and get totally shit-faced for free. They had like all kinds of booze and food, and it would be like 2 hours of getting fucking hammered, and then they would run around trying to get everybody to buy tickets for the show that night, and we're like, yeah, okay, sounds good to me. And half the time I'd fall asleep watching a fucking play that bored me to tears, and then they do Romeo and Juliet, and I was like, this is fucking great the whole time. I didn't fall asleep. But I'd be so shit-faced because of the happy hour beforehand that most of the time we'd just be like in our chairs. And we didn't drink and drive, by the way, because, you know, and Pittsburgh has good public transportation, so I could just hop a bus or hop the train and get a trolley ride home after the play. So, it was actually exciting to watch that by real actors that know what they're doing versus a bunch of kids in English class being forced to read this out of a textbook. And when you watch the prequel trilogy from George Lucas, it's like all these actors are just reading the dialogue out of a textbook like they're in English class, and it's just boring and they don't want to be there. And most of the actors and actresses hated being in that movie because the whole thing was shot in front of a green screen or a blue screen, and George didn't want them to have any personality. It was just dry, and it's boring. It's completely fucking boring. And I don't know, I could talk shit about it all day, but I'm still watching it because overall I think Star Wars is cool, and even the prequels have cool stuff in them. It's just that each project with the Star Wars has its own problems. But the parts I like about Star Wars is when you have shit that apply to real life. And at the beginning of each Clone Wars episode, there's a little, you know, it's like a fortune cookie. It's like the little paper inside the fortune cookie. There's some shit that Master Yoda would tell you or something like that on the screen before the episode starts, and that's like the thing that you're supposed to learn today. And one of those, of the recent ones that I watched, these episodes are 20 minutes long, so I'm up to 30 pieces of the 419 that I have to watch before I'm finished with Project Star Wars here. But a lot of these episodes of the Clone Wars and some other shows are 15, 20 minutes long each. So they're not like, you can watch 3 of them I can watch 3 of them at night and before I'm like ready to pass out and go to bed. And that's like an hour to watch 3 episodes. But, one of the little things that popped up, the little, Yoda fortune cookies that popped up at the beginning of the episode said, the best confidence builder is experience. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna write that one down, because usually I'm just like, yeah, whatever, just let's get to the show. But this one, like, I was like, okay, that makes sense, because there's so much in your life that can apply to, you know, I can think about it I can think of 150 different examples of confidence comes with experience. You know, I got to take apart my bicycles today in an hour or so. I'll probably set up the video camera and film it. Maybe, I don't know. I kind of want to get the shit done. I think today it might just be get it done. I don't know if I'm going to film it today. I would like to, but it takes time out of my day to add filming it while I do it. But I'm confident I can rip either of these bicycles down to the bare frame and back up, and I don't have any fear of anything when I'm doing it. The only thing that I might be lacking is not having a tool that I need in the process. Because some of these things are specialized tools that, you know, you can't take certain things apart on a bike without the proper tool. Not without some sort of dumb hackery that could end up breaking the thing that you're trying to work on if you don't have the right tool. Like out in the field in an emergency situation, there might be a way to do something in a pinch, but it's probably not what you want to do at home in your own shop. Experience. I've worked on bikes heavily from when I was like 15 years old up until I was like 21, 22, like daily, like day after day. And then even then, I'm confident enough. I've worked on, and then I've gone through periods of my life where I'm working on bikes every day in one way or another. Fixing all my friends' bikes, buying and selling bikes, doing a Craigslist bicycle repair business when money was tight and I needed to pay rent. I even say at the bakery, first time they wanted me to make some cheesecake or use the big mixers, that's probably the one job in the bakery that you could screw things up bad and waste a lot of money and time. There are other things that you can do. They don't just start you on the mixer on day one at the bakery. There are jobs that are way more stressful than that at the bakery, but when they tell you, hey, go make this, you know, just follow the directions, whatever, like to use the mixer and to mix stuff. Somebody was mixing some stuff yesterday, and she looks at me, she's like, yeah, Adam, I know it's not as good as yours. And I said, look, it's fine. Just once you mix the eggs in with it, it doesn't look good until you mix the eggs in. Then you'll see. And it came out fine. But no, not as good as what I would have done. But, you know, we'll just leave it at that. But confidence. I have confidence in it. But the first time I had to if you ask me to make something that I've never made before, my confidence is low. I'm going to pretend that my confidence is high, but inside I'm like, oh my God, I might screw this up. I better pay attention and I better take my time. And then you've got people getting mad because you took your time when, you know, most people are concerned with speed more than anything at this job, but I'm concerned with doing a good job. So I'll take the time to do it right every time. I don't care. People can get mad all they want. I'm going to do a good job, even if it takes longer, because at the end of the day, that's what makes people happy. They may not be happy when you're doing it, but once you're done, if you do a good job, they forget that it took you longer. So the confidence thing builds as you make things. And so like if I make something and it comes out perfect, the first time I make it, I'm measuring everything exactly to the recipe. If it says 19.376 pounds, I'm making it 19.376 pounds. If it says you need to use powdered sugar, blah, 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 I'm sifting the powdered sugar and weighing it out so that there's no clumps in it and stuff like that. And I'm doing everything as perfect as I can. I'm weighing the cream cheese. Cream cheese comes in 3-pound blocks. But is it 3 pounds? I don't know. If I weigh the cheese without the packaging, is it going to be 3.0 pounds or is it going to be like 2.9 pounds? I just got 3.25 pounds of ground beef, and when I weighed the ground beef, it was 3 pounds. They shorted me a whole quarter pounder. So, I mean, that's like a quarter pounder with cheese I lost because of that. So no, I weigh shit. A block of butter is supposed to weigh a pound. Sometimes they don't. I've weighed them. I know sometimes it's a little more, sometimes it's a little less. Does it matter? The first time I make something, I will follow the directions exactly to the decimal point. Once I make it and I see how it comes out and I see where I can fiddle and fuss around, then I'm like, okay, I've made this once or twice. I know that if it's not exactly a pound, it doesn't matter. I know that if I don't sift the powdered sugar, it's still gonna get mixed in right. I'll play around after I've done it once. The first time I do it, I try to make it perfect because I don't want anything to come out bad. The next time I make something, I'll be like, I'll take a few shortcuts. If it's a couple, 0.2 out, if it's off. But for example, because I'm fucking OCD about that stuff, I was making something last week and I'm trying to think of what it was. I just can't remember. But one of our scales was broken. And I'm weighing cinnamon and vanilla extract and some other stuff. And I'm like, this is way too much. But the scale was telling me it's the right amount. And I'm like, I know this is not right. I'm like, but I'm following the scale and I'm stacking all these ingredients up. And I'm like, this is bullshit. This isn't right. And so I went and grabbed another scale. And I took the scale because we're hard on equipment, man. Shit breaks all the time in a restaurant situation like this. That equipment gets abused. And it's not uncommon for a scale to just shit the bed. And so I grabbed another scale just to make sure. And sure enough, the scale was like 50% off. So if it told me 2 ounces, if the scale said it was 2 ounces, it was actually 4. And I'm like, holy shit, if I had followed the scale, this whole thing would have came out horrid. It would have had way too much stuff in it. Would have had way too much cinnamon and I can't even remember what I was making, to be honest. But whatever it was, it would have came out terrible. So I had to go back and reweigh all of these things that I used that scale for, and I even looked, I'm like, if you had let me use this would have came out terrible. But I just knew something was wrong. Because I know that I can put this much cinnamon in a thing, the thing that I was filling it with, and it wouldn't fill to the top. And here I filled it to the top with cinnamon and it's telling me that it's still not enough. And I'm like, this isn't right. This isn't right. Confidence comes with experience. I was confident enough to know that this scale was fucked. But if somebody was using it somebody didn't know how to make the stuff and was just doing what the scale said, they would have fucked it all up. But I was confident enough to know I'm throwing away this broken scale because it's fucking giving me the wrong results. I know this is broke. I know this isn't working. And then I grabbed the other scale and I'm like, yeah, this is way off. Way off. So, but confidence from experience. I had enough experience doing it by now that I knew I had to take another look at this and not just dump this shit in. Now, I also have the confidence to know that I wish I could remember what I was making. I have no idea. But I have a feeling that even if I had doubled all these ingredients that I was using the micro scale to weigh, it might not have had that big of an effect on the final result. It may have been a little bit richer flavor, but it might not have ruined it. But I didn't want to take the chance because There was a time that here's one that got me, and it was stupidity on my part. There was a sauce that I was making. My daughter was helping me with Thanksgiving dinner, and there was a sauce, like a glaze or something. I can't remember what it was for. And the recipe said 3/4 cups, like 3/4 of a cup of salt. And everything else made sense. And I'm like, why is this thing saying 3/4 of a cup of salt? I'm like, that is fucking crazy for this recipe. But I was in a hurry, and we were cooking a turkey and all this other crazy shit. And I was like, all right, just dump the salt. Let's see what maybe somebody knows something I don't know. And I dumped 3/4 of a cup of salt into this, whatever it was. It was like this glaze. I can't remember what it was for. But I'm like, it was supposed to have like a sweet flavor, not fucking salt. And turned out it was supposed to be 3/4 of a tablespoon of salt and not a cup. Because other people, when I went back to the recipe website, other people had commented about the salt. And I was like, oh shit, I left a comment about the salt. And then the original author finally chimed back in and said, oh, my bad, that was supposed to be 3/4 of a tablespoon of salt, not 3/4 of a cup. That's a huge difference. Now, I was smart enough back then with cooking to know this wasn't right. It didn't ruin Thanksgiving dinner. Everything was fine, except for that. We had to throw that away. You can't save that. There's nothing you can do to fix that. How much of it would you have to make and then mix in what you've already made before the salt? 3/4 cup before the salt proportion matches the sauce proportions, and it goes back to tasting normal. When you go from 3/4 of a tablespoon of salt to 3/4 of a cup of salt, and you multiply the rest of the recipe, you're gonna have like 20 gallons of this sauce. Probably you would need to make it in a vat at a factory or something like that before the amount of salt that you put in there balances out and all the shit mixes together and tastes the way it's supposed to. So yeah, that got thrown in the trash. And I knew when I'm like, man, when I told my daughter to dump the salt into it, I'm like, this isn't right. Like, why? I'm like, why so much salt? That's like half a fucking thing of salt. Like, what? Why? And I just couldn't. But I was following the recipes for certain things that, like, I had things that I was doing, but I also was like, oh, that sounds good, follow this recipe. And I was teaching my daughter how to cook, and so that was a good lesson for my daughter. Don't fucking follow your instincts when you know the recipe calls for too much salt. Especially when it's like that. Use your fucking judgment to know that, like, no, that's definitely, no. Like, if I saw a thing at work where I'm making something, normally you might put a tablespoon of salt in a giant mixer for whatever it is that you're making. If I saw a recipe at work and it said put 2 cups of salt in, I'd be like, yo! I'd be like, this gotta be a mistake here. I would make sure to bring that up, and like, if somebody wants to argue with me and say, no, just do what it says. Okay, fine, it's on you. Dump it in, see how it comes out. Maybe I'm wrong. But experience builds confidence. You know, it's like when I do what I do for a living. You know, I have all the I've been doing it since I was 18 years old. So there's confidence. I'm 49 years old now, so I can't even add that many years. 18, 29, 39, 49. It's like 30 years I've been doing this shit. Every day of my life, just about, except for when I was locked away. And So yeah, I have confidence. I know I can do the job. I have the people talk to me all the time about riding my bike to work, how it's so dangerous. I can't believe you do that. And how, like all these people who keep telling me that when it's hot outside, you're not going to be able to do it. And I'm just like, fuck you. I know what I can do and what I can't do. I've been riding my bicycle far distances since I was in, my mom was letting me ride my bicycle to school when I was in 3rd grade. I was like 9 years old, and I could ride my little BMX bike to work or to school 6 miles each way when I was 9 years old. I mean, this is, when you grew up in the 80s, your parents gave you a lot more freedom. My mom would also tell me to get on my bicycle and ride down to the corner store, which was like 2-3 miles away each direction, to get her a couple packs of cigarettes. She'd be like, and then like when she'd send me a note saying it's okay, they're for my mom. But back then, a 9-year-old kid could go down to the corner store and get 2 packs of smokes and ride back home on your bicycle. They wouldn't even bat an eyeball. They didn't even give a fuck. That's because every kid's parents would send the kids to the store to get the cigarettes for mom and dad. Kids nowadays, no, we're not letting our kids ride a bike to school 6 miles by themselves when they're 9 years old. Because now we got to worry about shit like Jeffrey Epstein's Island and asshole drivers on the road and a million other things that could go wrong. No, we don't let our kids do that shit, but my parents, they didn't give a fuck. So yeah, I've been riding my bicycle on the roads, dangerous roads, since I was fucking 9 years old, with no parents around. We had to grow up young. The older you are, the quicker you had to grow up. Kids nowadays can be 25 years old and never fucking grow up. They never even have to learn how to do their own laundry or make their bed half the fucking time because they're coddled so much. But no, not Gen X. We had to go out and fucking be adults when we were 10, 15. By 15 years old, you had to be an adult or you weren't going to survive Gen X. Fuck. You weren't even going to get through school if you couldn't do some shit on your own. So yeah, I've been riding my bicycle on roads since I was 9 years old, and I've been doing it a lot. And even when I had a car, I was riding my bicycle to get around. When I moved to Pittsburgh to go to art school, I left my car at home because it was unreliable and I couldn't afford to fix it when it broke down. So I just left it behind because I knew I had 2 bicycles. And I'm in a city where there's public transportation and buses and trains and bicycles. I can get around. I ain't gotta worry about it. I mean, it would have been nice to have a car in certain situations, but a bicycle was enough. I could get around. So I used a bicycle until I graduated from art school, and then I went and got a car, but I still rode my bike all over the fucking place. I've gone on 800-mile bicycle rides. My longest one-day bicycle ride, 174 miles. I've got a little bit of experience riding a bicycle on roads, and people act like I'm some dumb little kid that's never done this before with all their expert advice. People who have never rode their bicycle more than 10 miles in their entire lifetime are dishing out advice to me about what I should and shouldn't do, and what I'm capable of and what I'm not capable of when it comes to riding a bicycle. Like they're the expert and I'm not. The guy who's been doing it since he was 9 years old, riding in every fucking city east of the Mississippi, riding in the mountains, on the beach, in the sand, in the fucking... I rode my bike in the fucking ocean, for crying out. I had the waves coming up over my fucking mountain bike at one point. I've been to the tops of mountains. I have a picture of my mountain bike at the top of the highest mountain in Virginia. Or the second highest mountain in Virginia. My bad. The highest mountain is easy to get up. rode my fucking bicycles where you're not allowed to ride. I've rode my bicycle on the Appalachian Trail in 6 different states. I've been all over the fucking place. I've gone faster I've gone at least 70, 75 miles an hour on a bicycle before. On a mountain bike, I've gone about 50, 55, somewhere in the mid 50s before. My speedometer topped out at like 55, 56 on one ride, the max speed that it recorded. Blasting down a dirt fire road going down a mountain in New Hampshire. And then there was one other place outside of Rochester in the Finger Lakes region, which is pretty hilly, on the Finger Lakes Trail, where we popped out on a dirt road and went flying down the hill. Then me and my friend that did it, my max speed topped out at like 40, 45 because the wind blew my chain off, and my chain was just flapping around, and I couldn't pedal the chain back onto the chain ring. And when I got to the bottom of the hill, my friend, who just bombed down the hill as fast as he could go, he was waiting for me at the bottom. He's like, what the fuck happened? And I'm like, my chain came off. He's like, oh, we're gonna have to do that again. So we rode back up to the top of this hill and did it again. Except this time I got to about 50, 55 miles an hour before my chain blew off again. And just from the vibrations and the battery, but I was able to get going up to about 50, 55 before the chain came off, and then I just had to tuck and hold on to the handlebars and not die. And so I've done that on mountain bikes. I've been in downhill mountain bike races, cross country races, road races, I've done it all. I'm not fucking Lance Armstrong. I've never been to the Tour de France, but I've done alley cat races all over multiple cities, weaving in and out of traffic, rode through Manhattan, dodging cars and taxi cabs and pedestrians and everything else you can imagine. But people who never fucking sat their ass on a bicycle seat to go more than 5 miles down the bicycle path on a weekend with their Griswold family, they're the experts that are telling me what I should and shouldn't be doing on a bike. Once again, the best builder of confidence is experience. So I have the confidence to go to and from this job, 22 miles now it is each way, and I'm not scared. I mean, some of it sucks. I got honked at yesterday. I had this one fucking bitch got mad at me. It always happens on this one road. The road doesn't have any shoulders, but it's 2 lanes in each direction, so there's plenty of room to pass. Well, some people get mad because some people look at you on a bicycle and they're mad. They look at you like you're a little kid riding your toy down the street and you don't belong on their road. And so this one woman, she comes right up at me. She never hit the horn, but she drove past me. She was about less than half an inch from clipping my shoulder with her mirror. And she went by me going 50 miles an hour. But she did it on purpose because she had 2 whole lanes of the road and there was nobody around her. She could have gotten the left passing lane, gone around me without getting anywhere near me. But no, she had to come up on purpose, brush me less than an inch from my shoulder from hitting her mirror. I'm getting to the point where I just feel like I gotta put a loop on my backpack strap and put a ball peen hammer there so that when people get up close to me like that, I can just grab my hammer and go bap on their fucking on their passenger window and shatter their fucking passenger window and then go on my merry way. So I'm getting sick and tired of these fucking people. But I'm on federal probation, so at some point, if I just go bop and break someone's window who's treating me like shit, trying to run me off the fucking road, I'm the one who's gonna go to prison, and this fucking asshole trying to kill me isn't gonna get in trouble at all. So fuck him. I'm just gonna eat it. But I have the confidence to be out on these fucking roads, and I'm not scared of these people. I want to fucking hurt them. I want to take a fucking hammer and smash their fucking window when they come that close to me. I don't want to I'm not afraid of them. The thing I want to more than anything, I want to smash their fucking cars. And she did it on purpose, because after she did that to me, after she brushed me, she got to a red light. I caught back up to her and I passed her and I flew through. There was nobody coming the opposite direction, so I just ran the red light and said, fuck it, I'm going. See if she does it again. And the fact that I went through the red light, I looked both ways. There was nobody coming. There was no one doing left turns. I mean, it was a safe cross. If I was a pedestrian and I had crossed the street on foot, no one would have blinked an eye. But I just said, fuck it, I'm going to get a head start. I went down and I just kept going straight. So now this woman's way behind me and I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting. All of a sudden, boof, comes right by me again. Same thing, she was completely on her own. It's Saturday, the traffic isn't bad. There's nobody in front of her, nobody in back of her. She had 2 whole fucking lanes. She had a whole left lane that she could have got into to pass me. But no, she decided to pass me a 1/4 inch this time from my shoulder. Like, she's really trying to hit me. I really need to start carrying a helmet cam and a chest cam and a rear-facing camera when I go on these rides, because I feel like one of these days somebody's going to kill me on purpose. And I at least want to film them killing me so that they can go to prison for it. But, it's a lot of hassle. It's a big enough hassle to do this without having to set up all these fucking cameras and do all this extra work in order to do it. So, whatever, I'll just add it to my fucking list. But do I lack confidence? No, I get pissed. I don't get scared. I get angry. Like, I wish I had a hammer I could just grab and just bow on someone's car when they do something like that. And then be like, see ya, motherfucker, or take their fucking mirror and rip it off the side of their car and just go on my merry way. Oh, I don't got a license plate. There's no way to, like, what are you going to tell the cop? A guy on a bicycle ripped my fucking mirror off. And then the cop might be like, well, what did you do to him? But no, I mean, I'm on federal probation, so I can't go ripping people's mirrors off the side of their car. I can't smash their windows in with a hammer. Good thing I can't carry a pistol while I'm riding, because down here in Texas, these rude fucking cocksuckers, I don't know, man. I'm just saying, it's probably a good thing I can't do that, because these people do act like they want to kill you, and they want to come as close as they can to killing you without risking going to prison themselves. They're scumbags here in Houston. Scumbags. I have never seen worse. I've been all over the place on my bicycle, all over the fucking place, and nothing compared. Manhattan, New York City, the places that you would think would be the scariest places to ride a bicycle don't even come close to this place here in terms of how douchey people are. It makes me not like living here, just knowing that there's people like that here. I went to, so yesterday on my way home, I mean, I could just keep talking all day today, but I'm gonna have to stop soon. Yesterday, I had to go to the bakery 2 days in a row, so I was tired. I was really tired. When I left the bakery yesterday, I had no energy at all, none. And I'm like, man, I gotta go 22 miles. But all I did was decide to break up the ride into small chunks. So I went the first 10 miles, almost exactly halfway home, and I picked up some Gatorade, 2 bottles. That's what I've been doing, just to beat the heat and get keep the electrolyte crash from hitting me. Because going into work in the morning, I get soaked. My clothing is completely soaked from the humidity in the morning, but the temperatures aren't as hot. On the ride home, my clothing doesn't get completely soaked, but it's hot and I sweat a lot, and that evaporates, but it's the salt. The salt comes pouring out. Plus, I was working at a bakery all day on my feet and physical, and so it's like I've been working out from 6:30 in the morning until now it's like 5:30 in the evening, 11 hours of nonstop working out, and now I'm gonna crash. So I gotta get some electrolytes. And so I stop and get 2 bottles of Gatorade at this convenience store. And I drink one right there before I even get on the bike, and then I threw the other one in my backpack. At some point, because I had no energy, I was dead. Even Strava was like, oh, even Strava was like, holy shit, you were slow today. The AI readout from the ride yesterday was like, oh, looks like you were just taking your time today, huh? Yeah, no shit. So I stopped on the bike trail to have another Gatorade and just chill out for a minute. Then I get back on the bike and I'm like, there's a Goodwill thrift store right on the way to my house. I'm gonna stop there. It's only like maybe two and a half miles from home. Maybe 3. Let's say 3 miles from home. So I'm just like, I don't have any money, and I kind of wanted to see, like, can I get some stuff for the kitchen? Like, this Goodwill thrift stores suck to begin with. If you donate anything to Goodwill that's any good, it won't end up in a store. They only put complete garbage in the store. Anything good that comes to Goodwill, they auction it off on eBay and shit like that. They don't put anything good in the stores. And if they do, if there's anything good in a Goodwill store, they're gonna overprice. You'll end up paying more than retail. Sometimes they'll put a price tag on something that's more than what you would pay for the thing brand new, so that when they do half price day, they still get a bunch of money for it. And maybe they can trick someone stupid into buying the thing when they could have just gone to Walmart and gotten it for less brand new. Goodwill fucking sucks. But I went in there anyway just because it was something to do. It was more to break up the ride on the way home and just be, just chill and be 3 miles from home, get a little break, do something a little bit different, then get back on the bike and only be a few miles from home. So nothing but garbage. I mean, complete fucking garbage. Like, it looked like one of these houses on that show Hoarders, where you're just like, why the fuck does this person got like 6,000 butter tubs in the corner of the kitchen? Like, that's my stuff! Like, it looks like they raided about 50 fucking hoarder houses and took everything to Goodwill and put it on there was nothing in this store. There was like one spoon, like one of those spoons with the spaghetti hooks, like for getting your spaghetti noodles out. I'm like, and it was like $1, and I'm like, I'm not even going to buy this for $1 because I don't even have a thing to cook spaghetti with right now. So what do I need that for? I need a pot first to cook. They didn't have shit. They didn't have a casserole dish. They didn't have nothing. Nothing. I mean, I've never seen a Goodwill that was more beat than this fucking thing. It was bad. I mean, you'd have a better chance of finding cool things at a yard sale than this Goodwill. I mean, oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. But the one thing I noticed, 3/4 of the people in the Goodwill, 3/4 of them are wearing these fucking masks on their face. I'm telling you, like, if there were 100 people in the Goodwill, which there weren't, but if there were, 75 of them would have had the fucking mask on their face. And I live in Texas. What the fuck, you fucking retards, wearing these fucking masks? Because it's 2025, people. Take your fucking mask off and show your face. Like, what in the fuck is wrong with you idiots? I am so sick of seeing these fucking mask-wearing idiots everywhere I go. It's 2025. You got you're fully vaccinated. You got your 20 fucking booster shots from Dr. Fauci. You don't gotta wear what are you fucking wearing your mask for? Like, it's just something that people decided, I'm gonna wear a mask for the rest of my life and I'm never taking it off my face ever again. You fucking people are fucking retarded. You're a fucking retard. It's amazing how fucking stupid you people are. If you're wearing a mask and it's 2025 and you're fully vaccinated, you're all pumped up with the vax, and you got your 20 fucking booster shots from Dr. Fauci, and you're walking around with a fucking mask on your face, especially if you're outside, walking down a bike path. I've seen this shit. People out on a fucking jog, going through a bike path in the woods wearing a Dr. Fauci mask on their face. Like, oh my God, if you vote for me to be benevolent dictator of America, all those people are going to the camp. If I see you fucking walking around, especially down a fucking trail in the woods with a mask on your face, get in the back. Get in the back of the truck. Get in the back of the truck. You're going to the fucking camp with the barbed wire fence. We're gonna, and then once you're no longer useful to for labor, it's over. Done. Like, you people aren't worth keeping around. Like, there's not, I hate to say it, but you people aren't worth having. Like, we definitely can't let people like that keep having kids. I saw a whole fucking family in Target one day. Husband, wife, mask. They had like 3 little kids that were like maybe anywhere from 4 years old to 6 years old, masked up, all wearing the masks. And a newborn baby with a fucking mask on its face in a fucking baby seat put in the fucking shopping cart. And I'm wondering, have any of these fucking kids ever seen the face of their siblings? Oh wow, it's sunny out. And it's pouring rain at the same time. That's neat. It's like a downpour that just started coming down, but the sun is out. So, Houston, there we go. There's probably someone walking down the street getting all soaking wet wearing a mask on their face right now as I'm talking. I can't believe it. I'm like, are you people really... But the whole thing, the Bible talks about this, the mark of the beast. It's coming. And this, how many people got disowned by their families, disinvited from Christmas dinner, are not allowed to be around their family anymore because you wouldn't take the shot. And the rest of your family said, okay, if you're not going to take the shot, then you're not part of this family anymore. Right? This was all in the Bible. It's called the mark of the beast. And this is what's going to happen. People are going to know you're not supposed to take that fucking mark of the beast. Yeah, it doesn't matter what happens to you from that moment on. If you take that fucking mark, you're doomed. It's over. You're going to hell. You're not supposed to do it. You're supposed to stand up to it. That's what you're supposed to do when that comes. But it means that when you refuse to take the mark, everybody in your life, your friends, your family, your spouse, your children, everybody that you're close to are going to all turn their back on you. And you are going to be public enemy number 1 unless those people that are close to you are also hip to what's really going on. And you still have to make that stand. You still have to stand up against that when it comes. This whole vaccine bullshit was a test run. That's why they made you wear the masks. Because they can sit outside, they can go to places, and they can count you. They're like, let's see how much retarded shit we can get people to do just by barking orders at them. And we'll see how many people go along with it. And then we can make a tally of all the people who don't listen to us and don't do what they're told. And we can take our notes and we can put them on a list as people to keep an eye on and this and that and the other thing. So that's what that whole thing was to see how fucking retarded you are and see how dumb you've become and see if the public education and the indoctrination system and the television programming that they're using to program you, that's why it's called programming, to see how good it is. How many of these fucking idiots can we get to go along with the dumb shit we bark at them? How about we put arrows on the floor in the grocery store and say, every other aisle you can only walk this direction, and then on the other aisle you have to walk the other direction. And if you want to turn around and go back and look at something, you have to go all the way around because you're only allowed to walk one direction. And you got to wear the mask on your face, and you got to get your shots to keep your job. And it's like they're making up shit, dumb shit, to see how many of you fucking idiots would listen to them and go along with it. And so what you're seeing today in 2025, when you see someone walking down the street with a fucking mask on their face, you're like, holy fuck, that's a fucking complete retard right there. Even people with Down syndrome are looking at this guy going, oh my God, that's a fucking retard right there. Like, that's how fucking retarded you are. You got people with Down syndrome calling you a fucking retard at this point. Even those people, even the handicapped people and the people with physical disabilities know that this is all bullshit. Like, that's how bad it is. And so when you see someone walking down the street with a mask in 2025, June 2025, you know that's your message that, like, people are fucking gone. Some people are just, the TV can tell these people to do anything, and they are just gonna, yes, master, yes, my master, I will do what I am told. No matter what the fuck you tell them to do. You could tell these people to go home and cut their fucking dick off with a pair of scissors, and they'll go home and do it because the TV told them to do it. Like, they don't, I'm telling you, they will do anything they're told. And that's what this whole thing was about. They want to run this Mark of the Beast program on us. And they got to figure out how much, when we decide to pull that trigger and do it, how many people are going to fight back and not listen to us and not go along with it. And that's what they're trying to figure out. That's why they do this from time to time. This isn't the first time, and this isn't the last time that they're gonna just start barking orders at you people with ridiculous demands that make absolutely no sense. And, tell you that you're not allowed to go, buy groceries anymore, and you're not allowed to have people over to your house for Christmas dinner and shit like that, and we're watching you, and if you have people over at your house, we're gonna send the police over and arrest all of you for public gathering and all that crazy. And you can't go to the fucking beach, you can't go to the woods, you can't be outside, you gotta wear a mask on your face and take shots when you're told, and all that bullshit. It was just a fucking scam to see how many of you fucking idiots would go along with it. That's all it was. That's all it was. It was a test. And what they figured out is, look around. Go into a fucking city right now and tell me how many people you see with these stupid masks on their face today. So it worked to an extent. Those people are gone. Don't even talk to those people. They're not worth it. They're finished. Anybody you see walking around in a fucking mask today, stay the fuck away from them. I like the fact that they're still wearing them, because then from 50 feet away, I can tell you're a fucking worthless piece of shit. I don't need to have anything to do with you. Don't need to have anything to do with you at all. Don't even need to talk to you. I don't even need to talk to you for 2 seconds to figure out you're worthless. So you got that fucking sign right on your face. Some people are wearing the fucking mask because they hate Donald Trump. Like, you got the people wearing the stupid MAGA hat. I didn't even start talking about how Donald Trump is bombing Iran now. Oh, yeah, that's going to work out great for us. So there you go. You got my 2 cents there. No, I don't support that. Wasn't he just saying a week ago that we need to stay out of that fight and let them have at it? And now all of a sudden we're in World War III, maybe? I fucking don't like Donald Trump. I'm not wearing no fucking MAGA hat. If I could have voted in the election, I would have voted for him because, what was the other option? Holy fuck. Seriously. But I don't have any faith that Donald Trump gives a fuck about us. I never have. I've said that many, many times, that there's a difference between knowing that we had two choices and Kamala Harris was not a choice you should even consider. And the other one, Donald Trump, is like, well, I guess let's see what the fuck he does. That's about where I was at. I was like, well, I guess we're just going to have to see what this asshole does. Because the other one, you know what you're going to get if you vote for that fucking dingbat. You know what you're going to get. Him, we didn't know. But, I mean, I could just guess that it's just going to be another fucking slime ball doing the same shit that they all do when they get into office. Break all their promises and just go off and do whatever the fuck they want and help the rich get rich and the poor stay poor and all the same shit. So we'll see what happens. But that whole fucking scam of 2020, that all that was to see how many of you fucking retards would just do what you're told. Because when they do this whole mark of the beast thing and you're all lining up to get your fucking mark on your forehead or your wrist or whatever, the Bible says that once you get that mark, it's over. It's game over. You're done. Your soul is lost forever. And you're going to have to make a stand. You know, I lost my job over it. I took shit too far. I ended up going to prison for making my stand and saying the things I said. But up until then, I had stood against this thing from day one. I wouldn't wear a mask. I got kicked out of a lot of places for not wearing a mask. And the funniest thing about it is every time that happened to me, I ended up with a better result. Like, I got kicked out of REI. I was about to buy a raincoat. I was about to buy a coat at REI. They kicked me out because I wouldn't wear a mask, screaming and yelling at me, like chased me out of the store. I've never been back to REI since. I'll never set foot in an REI store again. I went across the street to Cabela's. Nobody was wearing a fucking mask. Across the street at Cabela's, Republican REI, you know, you got everything's for left and right. Target's for the Democrats, Walmart for the Republicans, REI for the Democrats, Cabela's for the Republicans. You know, every fucking store, every business has a Democrat version and a Republican version. So I went to Republican Outdoor Fitters, Cabela's. Nobody was wearing a fucking mask. I bought a coat and the coat was like $50. And the same fucking coat at REI or equal quality coat at REI was going to be like $300. And I was willing to drop the money because I needed a coat really bad. It was fucking freezing. I had just drove up to Minneapolis in the fall and it was like 90 degrees when I left my house in Pennsylvania and it was like 30 degrees in Minneapolis. I'm like, shit, I should have brought a coat. And at that point, I'm like, well, REI, maybe I'll get a nice coat. I guess I'll get a North Face, this or that, whatever. I ended up getting a Columbia at Cabela's, and it was like $50. And honestly, I think the Columbia jacket was better than the North Face jacket I would have got. I love that fucking coat. I still wear it to this day. And, but all because I wouldn't wear a mask, I saved myself about $250 by getting kicked out of REI when I had already picked out a coat that I was going to buy. And the coat at Cabela's looked better. It was my color. The one at REI was like bright fucking orange. It was like prison colors. I would not want to wear that. If I had bought that coat at REI, the $300 North Face jacket that's bright fucking orange, I would never be able to wear it again because it's prison colors. It'd be like I'm back in prison wearing a fucking jumpsuit, a puffy fucking down feathered jumpsuit. The dark blue jacket I bought at Cabela's for $50 is just as warm. Actually, it's a little bit thinner and less puffy. It looks better. It's warmer because of the liner, the special liner that Columbia puts in their jackets. It's a fucking great coat. I have it to this day. I wear it all the time when it's cold outside. That's my go-to. All because I wouldn't wear a mask. Every time, I'm telling you, every time I ever got kicked out of a place for not wearing a mask, something good happened because I stood my ground and wouldn't cave in. I have dozens of stories about this. I got fired from my job because I wouldn't take the shot, and I worked from home. I worked from home from 2019, before the shit started. It wasn't a work from home job because we all work from home now. No, this was a work from home job from day one. And I got fired for not taking a shot for my work from home job because I wouldn't go along with the Jim Jones vaccine cult. And I ended up getting a job making like $40,000 a year more. I just had to wait 4 months and suffer without any income at all for 4 months until that job came my way. But by then, my anger of dealing with these fucking scumbag Democrats for 2 straight years trying to rip the rug out from under me and ruin my life, I had it. I mean, mentally, I was just gone at that point. And I said a bunch of fucked up things. And then they sent a fucking tank to my house to drive right through the front door. Take me to fucking prison for 2 years and completely destroy my fucking life. But this is the kind of shit that you're gonna go through. If you don't take that mark of the beast, you're gonna go on a list and somebody's gonna show up with a SWAT team and a tank, and they're gonna drive a tank into your fucking house and take you away. Or they're gonna try to, all because you wouldn't put the mark on your forehead or your hand. Everybody in your family, everybody you know, every friend you've ever had, all these fucking people with the pickup truck with the bald eagle on the back and the 3% sticker and the come and take it with the cannon and the you're gonna take it from my cold dead hands. All those fucking people are gonna be the first ones handing in their guns when it's time to turn in the guns. They're the first ones. So if you got any friends like that, don't rely on them. All the ones that talk all that shit about the Second Amendment and come and take it from my cold dead hands, all that bullshit, they're the first ones that are going to be in the fucking line handing in their guns when it's time to turn in their guns. They're the first ones that are going to they're the first ones that'll turn their back on you. They're the first ones that'll turn their back on their community. They'll turn their back on their own wives and kids to protect themselves and to keep their shit and to keep the tank from driving into their front door. They'll be the first ones in line to get the mark of the beast tattoo on their fucking hand or their neck or their forehead or wherever the fuck it goes. Count them out. The more people talk their shit, all these fucking patriots that talk all this shit, when it's time to do patriot shit, they're going to be nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Keep that in mind. They will not be there for you. When you meet at the rendezvous point, not only will these armchair patriots be nowhere to be found, when you get to the rendezvous point where all the patriots are supposed to get together and meet when the shit goes down, not only will the patriots be nowhere to be found, there'll be people waiting there to take you in because the armchair patriots told on you. So when the actual patriots that show up to the rendezvous point, that's just a trap. The FBI is going to be waiting for you to get there. They're going to wait in the woods and whatnot, in camo or whatnot, until the real patriots all gather, and you're all like, all three of you are looking around for the other 50 people that were supposed to show up who are nowhere to be found, and then bright lights are going to turn on from all 360 directions. Put your weapons down. Put your hands up. It's over. All the so-called patriots with the bald eagle on the back of the pickup truck and the 3% shirt and the come and take it from my cold dead hands, all those fucking people turned you in. So fuck those people. Those are the last ones you want on your fucking team. The more stickers they got, the more shirts they wear, the come and take it, this and that, stay away from them. They're fucking shitty people. Those are patriots on paper, but when it comes time to do some patriot shit, they ain't gonna be nowhere to be found. And now we're going on 2 hours and 45 minutes, so I'm just gonna end this video I could go on and on, but I got to get some shit done today. So I'm going to leave you with that. There's a lot of stuff. Maybe you didn't have time to watch it all at once, but I haven't shot a video for a few days, and I figure why not? Just let it go until I don't have anything else to say. We'll talk another day. Peace out.